Brenda, may we please have roll call?
Absolutely. Counselor Andrews.
Present?
Counselor Catalani.
Here.
Counselor Fliegel.
Here.
Counselor Coroli.
Here.
Counselor Rydell.
Here.
Counselor Touche.
Here.
Counselor Shear.
Here.
Mayor Carpenter.
Here.
We have a full house.
All right. Just a reminder for everyone to please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. Thank you, and council members, please remember to turn on your microphones. All right, no special visitors scheduled, which takes us to public comment period number 1. Please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Going once, going twice? Nobody? Okay, closing public comment period number 1. Moving on to the consent calendar. Approve the minutes of the October 22nd, 2024 Borough Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Action and discussion items. First one is ordinance number 833. Amend Chapter 48 Pensions, Chapter 59 Police, and Chapter 100 Alarm Systems of the Palmyra Borough Code of Ordinances. Discussion on and if appropriate, suggested motion is to authorize the borough solicitor to advertise ordinance number 833, an ordinance to amend the Palmyra Borough Code of Ordinances to reflect the formation of the Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department, eliminate the police pension fund, and revise and update penalty and enforcement provisions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, personnel, public works, commercial driver's license training. Discussion on and if appropriate, to approve the suggested motion to approve, 1, to approve the employment agreement with Cody Troy for him to obtain the required commercial driver's license at borough expense in exchange for his commitment to serve on the Borough Public Works crew for a minimum of 3 consecutive years from date of hire, or he will be required to reimburse the borough in full within 12 months of separation. And number 2, approve the transfer of $5,800, which is a CDL school cost, from the 2024 budget line item 1.430.115, Public Works part-time seasonal wages, to 2024 budget line item 1.430.460, which is Public Works training.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Bid award, janitorial services contract. Discussion on and if appropriate. Suggested motion to authorize the borough manager to execute a contract with Green Commercial Cleaning, 125 Pickwick Circle, Palmyra, as follows. $2,100 per month for daily cleaning service, $400 for once per year cleaning of the interior and exterior windows, and $150 for cleaning the bathrooms at Memorial Park every Monday from April to November. Is that who we currently have?
So I have a question about this before anybody, well, it doesn't matter, we're gonna make a motion second and discuss it, but, so, in the budget, it says that it was the same price as last year?
It may, because we didn't have the bid results yet.
They weren't open until November the 4th.
Okay, but, so there's 17,000 plus under the general fund. And there's some under park, but it doesn't.
Yes.
Okay, so these technically should have been, I don't get it.
Highlighted them probably.
I still don't get it, because last year it was 17,1 and parks was, I forget what parks was. But last year's budget doesn't add up to this 26,800.
Well, don't forget, going forward, there's there not a charge for them? Will they not be paying for their cleaning, so we'll be billing them for part of it?
Yeah,
But I'm worried about the total. So the total on this proposal's 26,800. And it looks like it's about 9,000 more than what was budgeted last year. Unless I am missing something. Now, I went through all the funds. There's really only janitorial for the building and parks, correct?
And police, about 7,500 in the police budget.
Okay,
But
so
you're not gonna
that's,
s-
that's
you're not
the
gonna see that.
difference.
Mhm.
Okay, and because police is not in here anymore,
Right,
we will
you're
be
not gonna
paying
see
that
it.
and we'll be reimbursed. Okay, thank you. Then I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Who seconded?
I
I'll second.
had Nancy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Great. Resolution 2024-22. Appoint members to the Palmyra Borough UCC Board of Appeals. Discussion on and if appropriate. To approve Resolution 2024-22, to appoint members to the Palmyra Borough Uniform Construction Code Board of Appeals and to establish compensation for such members.
Oh. Okay, so I have a question. They get compensation now?
It's been over 10 years since we've even had one of these hearings, and I don't believe we've ever paid them before, so. Doesn't mean you have to, you just have to make it zero.
I don't necessarily have an issue with paying them for, I mean, these hearings can run pretty long, can't they?
Like a zoning hearing board.
It'd be similar to zoning.
Okay.
And we're not paying any of our appointed board members.
Right.
Planning commission or zoning hearing board, so.
Or council.
Right.
Are they currently on now?
No, this is all
brand
new,
new.
because the people that we had previously are either deceased or moved out of the area
Okay.
or whatever, so. And we recently received an application, so we had to quick try to find people willing to do this, so we could have the hearing.
Do we have any history of compensation for this?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm kind of where you are, Jane.
What? Yeah,
Were they told that they were going to be compensated?
No.
Okay. So I'm a little torn on this because of course I don't wanna spend money but these gentlemen in this case are highly knowledgeable. And I think maybe some compensation would be necessary. Maybe minimal, but, I mean, they do have to, we all donate our time, but
Well, how many hours is it gonna take for the meeting, would you say?
I
Any
don't-
type of
I don't
meetings,
know.
going for
Can't tell.
days?
I don't think so. No.
So it could be a half an hour, it could be
Yeah.
2 hours, you just never know.
Can we revisit and say, like, if it exceeds this amount of hours, then perhaps maybe we can execute a dollar amount? But if it doesn't exceed this amount of hours, then we won't. That way, we're in the middle, either way.
Like your GLERA, when I was on the GLERA board, we
Yeah,
received
they-
$35 for the meeting. That was it. Boom.
Yeah.
But if it
Done.
was 15
No
Whether
minutes,
mileage, no
Whether
nothing.
it's half an
Whether
Whether
hour
it's
or
half an
3
hour, or
hours.
whether it was 6 hours. It was $35.
I would do like anything.
I'd rather
over-
see it go that way.
I would do like anything over 4 hours. That's just me. 30 minutes, 30 minutes. hour's an hour. We're here for an hour, sometimes 2 hours. If it's more than 4, then I'd say, okay.
How many hearings do we expect there to be?
It's 0 and
I'd
10.
say
Yeah,
I've
we've
been-
had 0
Oh,
in
really?
10 years.
Yeah.
That's why I asked, because it wasn't on my radar that,
We've had one,
We had 2.
two, that's right.
Two, yeah.
2 in 10 years.
2 total. In the 17 years I've been here. So,
No, I think there should be a halfway point, like Anthony said, whether it be 3 or 4 hours. We can compensate after that, but anything under a certain time frame.
I personally would sooner see it be a flat fee, regardless of how
Yeah.
long it takes. It's per hearing. This is what you got.
I mean, we're lucky that we have 3,
That volunteered to do it, because
yeah,
Jane and I both know you can't get volunteers for anything anymore
yeah.
these days. I'm happy to see that we got 3 volunteers on such short notice.
So how much do you want per hearing?
What line item would this be coming out of?
oh, good question. I don't know.
General fund?
It'd be, yeah,
Yeah, the general fund, but not.
it'd be in the codes and zoning, one of the 2 categories.
I mean, I
Page
know like
17 is code enforcement.
25 doesn't sound like a lot, but
Some people have to have tank of gas.
I'd probably just add a line item to planning and zoning, the 414 category.
I know Nate Hartman. Who are the other 2 gentlemen, though?
Jason Heisey is a local electrician. In fact, he's sitting in the back row.
Okay.
And Jason Orlando is another local small contractor.
I'd just make it a tank of gas, make it $50 and be done with it.
I was thinking $50.
Too, yeah.
It's a tank of gas for coffee.
15?
50.
50.
50.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, just make it a tank of gas.
Wait, do you need a motion for that?
Oh, I'll make that, oh, shoot. Can we amend the motion?
You don't have to amend the motion if you're just
Okay.
approving the
Estab-
members. and-
Okay,
yeah.
so it's part of it, okay, to establish compensation, okay. Then I will make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, all right, moving on to bid award, 2025 street paving. Discussion on and if appropriate, suggest motion to authorize the borough manager to issue a notice of intent to award a contract to Penti Supply, 2400 Thea Drive, Suite 3A, Harrisburg, in the amount of $548,265.67 for the milling and paving of the streets listed in the 2025 road resurfacing project. Question: is it just the 2 that are listed in the budget?
Yes.
Okay.
So my first thought, when I was working on the budget, was can we get away with not doing one of these? And then I looked, and I think we have like 5 on for next year, which means we'll just be
Kicking the can.
behind next year. Yep. Where is it? I swear I bookmarked it.
Page 66 is the roads.
Thank you. I thought I put a Post-it note there, but apparently I didn't.
Railroad Street's the one that's put it up.
Yeah. And even so, I mean, even if we took one of the streets out, it really wouldn't. 230 is, 230,000 is coming from liquid fuels. So the 427,000 is coming from the general fund, so even pushing one off's not gonna help. Not gonna, it'll put a dent in, but it wouldn't put a huge dent in.
They have to deal with it next year.
Exactly, and then
Then where do we
we've
put a
got
catch up?
5, and we've been in this situation before where we sort of pushed them off and then we have to hurry up and catch up.
I'd much rather get them done, that way they're not, you know, we already have it in the budget now, and that way we're not playing the same game next year. Cause it'll just, sometimes place things like that just snowball, we'll
Yeah.
put it next year. Well, let's take these 2 out and put them next year, and that just keeps rolling back.
Are these roads, these aren't roads we can microsurface instead?
No.
Now they're,
No, and if you recall, East Maple Street, we had people attend meetings and complain about over the last few years.
Yeah. Question,
Oh, yeah, I
do you
was
think
thinking
any
Rowan
from
Forge,
next
I'm
year will be
thinking the
able
wrong
to be
street, never mind.
microsurfaced?
Well, we take a look at that each year.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, and it's, I guess it would be hard to tell, because by next year, they could be in
yeah,
worse shape.
well, you need to surface the road between around 7 or 8 years after you pave it, just because you gotta seal it up. Because by then, the pavement's starting to get oxidized and you need to seal it up, so.
Okay,
So basically, if you just look back at the roads that we did 5, 6, 7 years ago, that's what we should be doing microsurfacing wise.
so let me ask you this. So like these, in 2027, we should be microsurfacing these roads,
Yeah.
which then we have 4 to pave and how many to microsurface? Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah.
You can't push it off because we're gonna get really stuck at some point.
In 2 years.
I make the motion, we authorize Roger to issue the notice of intent.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, now we get to everybody's favorites. Topic, 2025 budget discussion. Everybody got the budget?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody need Post-it notes?
Nope.
Just checking, I brought some. Does anybody need Post-it notes? Okay.
So, I actually spent the time during my 1 week honeymoon every morning, the last 2 weeks, sitting at home in the morning and at night, working, putting everything from what Roger gave us into my own spreadsheet to home to double check everything, to go over everything. And seeing that we would, you know, with what's going on, we have to raise taxes on everybody in our borough to make our budget fit. I cannot do that. They're being taxed enough from the school board as it is. You know, inflation's out the roof, and they just can't do it. And a phrase came to mind from Ronald Reagan: we need to cut spending, not tax our people. We need to spend our money wisely and right. And I made cuts, and I came down that Roy about 165,000 in the hole compared to 810. One question I have, Roger, on the transient retailer permit, how much is that now? Do we, any idea how much that costs them?
That's through the police department. I'm not sure what the,
Because the question was, they take, some of them do take business away from our local businesses, and I didn't know if there was a way we could raise that price fee.
Oh.
You really don't have that many of the people that
We don't.
come in. There's solar companies, there's cell phone companies. You'll get during the parade, you'll get the people that come as vendors.
stuff that's taxed. That's,
You wanna go over what you have?
if you'd
cut?
like, yeah, because I mean.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
'cause
discussion, we're gonna have to,
One thing I had a question on is I noticed, and I don't know, maybe it was an error back in the general fund revenue that back in 2020, when I did the math, we're missing $107,515. I don't know if that was there's a typo or something, or I missed something, but I went over that 5 times, I still get that same number.
from what line?
From your very first page in the very back, your very first page cover, that would be the general fund revenue.
Yes, is there a line item? So
At the very bottom, the total, where it says, 2020 says $4,534,414. And then in the budget, that's using the beginning balance. In the budget, it says $3,848,100.
They didn't add it to this.
Are you, okay, where in our budget is it, so I can just see where,
Right.
if there's,
Yeah, so page 12.
Bottom of page 12.
ah, thank you. Okay, got it.
So you see in the bottom of our page 12, it says $3,841,929. When you add up all the subtotals, you get $4,534,414 is what we should have had. That's using the beginning balance, not the difference. Using the difference, you get the proper number, but
Oh, you wanna explain, is this part of that we don't include that
Right,
beginning
that
budget?
first, we don't
Right.
even, you're right.
Yeah,
don't.
so,
we don't use beginning budget. We used the minus 800, because in 2024, we used the beginning budget, when you do the math.
cause I asked the same question several years ago.
Right.
I'm like, well, if we have this at the beginning, why isn't that at
Right.
the end? Yeah.
Yeah, because for 2024, for the budget, I noticed that we used the beginning
Yeah.
balance. That's why I used it the whole way through, because the 4 million under 2024 budget, $4,905,568 is what's listed in the budget. And if you add everything up using the beginning balance, that's what you get. If you use the difference, you get $4,205,568. There's a difference of 700,000 there. That's what confused me, because they flip-flopped. That's why I had the question, if it was an error, if I was making an error, if there was an error in there somewhere.
If you're talking about this year, I did not put the 700,000 beginning balance in there.
No, I'm talking
because-
last year, 2024.
Well, okay, so.
Like I said, it might have been a typo, there's a lot of
No,
numbers.
2024, you can see that we had that 731,000, and then
Right.
you have to subtract the 700 to start.
Right,
So we only had 31. Well, we don't even have the 700,000 to cover our
Okay.
start. So.
okay, that's why that's why I was asking the question, that was,
Good question, because I know I asked that several
Right.
years ago. Actually, I think it was about sewer or trash or something.
Right, because I made a note, it should be this. to
now
start.
going into, like with mine, with the general fund, under 401-210, like office supplies. I know it sucks, but sometimes we have to make cuts, sometimes we have to limit to what we're using. And I actually dropped that down to 1,000, saving us $475, because the 5-year average, I did 5-year averages to figure everything out. So if you see something in blue, that's where I made a cut.
Okay, so the only thing I see with some of them, and I get that you had, using the 5-year average is good, but like, the advertising, that's never gonna be a 5-year average because
Right, and that's why,
advertising goes up
and
every
that's why I went
single
as,
year.
that's why I went as close to 2024
Yeah.
as I could.
And insurance too, I mean, I don't know about everybody else's insurance, but mine has gone through the roof.
Okay, so with all the cuts I made, it came out that we're reducing our budget by $654,383. To leave us $156,426
So,
left to cover.
may I ask if there's
Yeah.
any, like, for lack of a term, word, major cuts? Please.
Yeah, like, 401(358), the insurance, the appraisal, it's been $575 to $545 almost every year. And then we asked for 14,806.
Yeah, it's because we're due for an industrial appraisal again.
And we've already started that process.
And we just okayed that
Yeah.
a couple meetings ago.
The other thing too, in 403 tax collection, insurance and bonding, that is not our bonding. We cannot change that
Okay.
amount.
Cannot.
That's the county's, and that's our cost for the county.
Another one you were talking about, what a major cut was, in legal services, legal fees. I know they went up $5 an hour, but if we combine stuff and not use it as much and start working on stuff on our own,
I'm all for combining stuff, and I think we do try to do that when we can, as far as even like the advertising to get all done, but I'm not sure
but
what we could do
even
on
like
our
$5
own.
an hour is not gonna raise us 10,000 in a year.
I'm sorry.
We only used 11,000 last year.
Which one are you looking at? No.
404. Is that your stress paper clip, Beth?
No, I just don't want to lose it. But it may come at budget season, you never know.
Okay, so,
So we have to be careful with our legal fees.
Two
We never know
things-
what's gonna come up.
The two things you definitely do not want to skimp on is your legal fees and your engineering costs. And especially in a town that has sinkholes,
Right.
your engineering costs are crucial.
I'm just curious, have we put out like a bid to see what else is out there, like Lebanon County or any other law firms with their fees? Or do we just keep going back to the same one every time?
For which one? Legal fees?
Legal fees? You got the best solicitor you can get for probably the cheapest money.
In the Central PA area?
she actually takes care of several municipalities, and she's pretty, I don't wanna say cheap, she's
Yeah, but
inexpensive.
compared to other
Yeah.
attorneys, yeah, and with the experience and knowledge that you get,
Get your bang for the buck with her.
can't beat that.
But would it hurt to just see what else was out there, and if it came back like that, then we just stick with it? I mean, I'm always like that, like, let's, you know,
Listen, I have no problem with bidding out anything,
yeah, I don't mind staying with it if it is the best
but
and
I
the best.
think
But your
this,
legal fees?
Yeah.
You want to bid that out?
well,
Yeah, why not?
would it be possible to just check with other municipalities to see what, you have like a little, well, we can't go through PSAB, we're a little late to the game now,
Yeah.
but
Your solicitor is probably one of the cheapest ones
I
in the area.
believe she is too,
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
When would we have to, like, would have done, like done that, like, check, see what else was out there, like, 2 months
In
ago.
Lebanon County?
No, not just saying Central PA area or whatever,
Well, you're gonna find that she's the cheapest one, so.
yeah.
Our recommendation would always be to stick with the person that is already knee-deep
Well-
in all the stuff that you're dealing with,
And-
especially if
Yeah.
she's
And it
a
makes it-
reasonable cost.
And it makes it easy if like that way there's no transition and she's used to everything. I get that, but
Yeah, I mean, and
I,
she is very good. And she knows the history of the borough, so I'm all for finding less expensive ways of doing things. I'm just not sure with her knowledge of the borough that, but it certainly, agree with you, it certainly does not hurt to ask around, for sure.
no, the knowledge part's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Much of the time that the borough has used the special legal fees, labor has always been for issues pertaining to the police department, which we don't really
So
have.
that was one of my questions, and I'm sorry, Marcus.
No, you're fine, go
But
ahead.
since we're on legal fees, do we really need 7,500 in legal fees since we don't have the police anymore?
If you have a problem,
Well,
yes, you're going to, but
That's Mike Miller's labor attorney.
Right,
Any
no, we
labor
know.
issues, yeah. And it was, no, because the police had their own line item for Mike Miller. So this
Okay.
was for any other
Okay.
employment.
Okay,
So
see,
that's
it's sort of
our
hard to
Mike
read
Miller.
the budget and see where we were because of the police being out of it now. So this 7,500 is just for borough,
Yes.
for non-uniform. Okay.
Yep.
Because that was one of my suggestions for reducing. Okay, I'm sorry, Marcus, I
No, you're
didn't mean to
fine.
interrupt, we were just on legal
No,
fees,
it's-
so.
That's why we had the discussion.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Brenda and Roger, but the same would be for second packet, 414, 314, legal services and stenographer.
That's for your zoning hearing board. And you never know how many zoning hearings you're gonna have.
That you don't want to mess with either.
We can have 10 or 15 one year, like this year, I think we've had 2. You just never know.
Here's the thing with a lot of these budget items, it is, I don't wanna call it a guess, but it is an estimate of what could happen, and chances are, we don't use it, chances are, we use more than we have budgeted. So that 21,000 for legal fees could end up being 25,000, or it could end up being 15,000. We just don't know.
But you always want to make sure you have enough to cover what you may need, so that you don't need to borrow it from somewhere else or be in the hole.
Yes, this borough has borrowed enough money.
Under section 413, code enforcement postage, you've taken that down to $250. The problem with that is they have to send things certified.
Right.
So,
But what I'm seeing is they haven't used postage in 5 years.
we haven't had a codes enforcement
Yeah.
since 2017 was the first one. And she did more zoning than codes enforcement. So
Okay.
your codes
Why we
enforcement,
have two of them now. Which is why we
Yeah.
have two of them now. Would-
yeah. So, every time that they send out a letter, it has to be certified, and it's
Certified.
almost $10 a letter. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So,
I was just going off, yeah, I went off with that, it hasn't been used in 5 years, that's why I'm,
right. Just trying to fill in the blanks.
yeah. And I appreciate it, 'cause I, yeah, first year on, and
That's why we're here. question for Roger or Brenda. Emergency management. Is that still in? That's still us? As far as the radio equipment?
You're talking the emergency management category?
Yeah, 415.
415.
Oh, yeah, never mind, that's EMA, not EMS. Sorry, I was thinking EMS. So that would still be us.
Oh, yeah.
415 is EMA, not EMS. I was thinking EMS. So I answered my own question.
Their telephone is actually as part of our Verizon package, so,
I was thinking EMS,
yeah,
not EMA.
yeah.
So we're good. Okay, so Public Works Department, the vehicle fuel, that would be the snow plows, the
Yep, all our vehicles are.
mowers, everything?
And as of the end of October, for fuel, we're at $17,383 for fuel, with 2 months to go.
I love your optimism, but I don't think it's gonna cut it.
Don't idle, shut them down. I know it's hard.
No, I'm just hoping that gas prices get a little better.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was kind of banking on too, a little bit.
I think there's
Time
two
will tell.
items under Public Works perhaps we can take out.
Which ones?
Washer and dryer, that's 3,000, take that out. And the $250 per person to buy safety shoes, we could down that to like $50.
It's 120 right now.
I found
And
a
they
pair
can't-
at
they can't-
Walmart for $30.
You can't buy good boots for less than $300 hardly now.
I could bring it down to, I could foresee it coming down to 150 maybe, but 250, that's a lot. That's more than any.
I too have the washer and dryer on my list to cut, and I hate doing it. I understand, but I also have the sixth employee gun.
Yeah, I bumped the boots down to 150. I mean, I've been in the industry, I wear composite toe, which are the same as steel toe, which are a lot cheaper and a lot lighter. And you can get good composite toe boots for 150.
Not American made, and ones that last for a year.
The ones I've been through Has Chemicals, they've lasted. I usually get the zip up
Not the way
leathers.
the guys are in sewer, they're in asphalt, they get tore up really quick. The 150 is better than 120, so.
Yeah, I don't have the problem with the boot allowance, I have the problem with the 115,000 for the extra employee.
Some nonprofits calling me.
Just so council is aware, I mean, we've been looking at this too. Just recently, we renegotiated with Cintas for the uniforms. We've changed the uniforms and brought the cost down for 2025. So the agreement was to take it out an additional year, which is Okay, we had a 3-year contract, so we'll have the same cost for 2025, 2026, and then a CPI stipend increase in 2027. So, it wasn't a lot of money, but it was something. It's saving us,
Every little bit
Thank you.
helps.
saving us about $1,000 a year.
We also switched our cell phone carrier from Verizon to T-Mobile. Saved us, not a great deal of money, but it was a savings worthwhile doing.
Good.
Every little bit
Minor
helps.
purchase,
Thank you.
43,750.
Oh, okay. It does, no, it doesn't say it there.
Yeah.
Roger, under Public Works Department, 430, what is the vehicle allowance, 430.337?
That's in case if they have to go somewhere in their personal vehicle, we pay for their mileage. Typically, that'd be for training.
Question. 430.460, the training. Does that include the new hire that we just spoke about earlier?
I think that's coming out of this year's, isn't it? It's coming out of
Is that
2024
coming out of this year?
budget.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
But that's on my list too, because it is quite a big difference from last year and from
So that's-
2024.
That's for 2 CDL
Yeah,
trainings.
and I think that's why
Plus additional training, yeah.
so Cody and somebody else,
It's this year. Cody's this year.
Cody's
Cody's
this
this
year,
year.
but we still have 2 open positions.
Okay,
Since Chris passed away,
And we just hired Ricky.
and
so
Ricky's
we'll
potential,
we'll send him possibly next year.
if he's eligible, yes.
So that's a line item that I don't mind keeping that amount in, but that may not be used.
Right. But we need our guys to be CDL trained.
The other thing with training too is, we do not have anybody who is certified for our sewer collection system right now. Clint will be going on the 19th to take his test. And then, of course, there's all the CEU requirements, the continuing education unit requirements as a result of getting that certification. So we're mandated to
Got it.
send him to the trainings.
Well, and in the long run, that will really,
Benefit
Help
the
us.
borough. Mhm.
As far as vehicle replacement schedule, we took a pretty hard look at that this year with all the trucks and stuff we were looking at. And that's why I had to increase it to the 188, because trucks are absolutely, and equipment are astronomical now.
I get it. We did do the dump
So, I mean,
trucks.
yes, but with the purchase of those coming up in the next couple of years, that was another reason for it too. You don't want to end up cutting yourself short on that, so, I mean,
And that's kind of why when I did, I went a little bit above what was been going on the previous years, because of
Yeah,
knowing
but-
the increase.
but
Can we just
price of
reduce
stuff
one of them? There's 3 trucks Was it 3? Dump truck?
There's two dump
two
trucks
dump
that are due in 2 years. I mean, I just hate to see it fall short, you know,
I know.
several years down the road, and you're gonna say, oh boy, I wish we wouldn't have done that, but
So the 188 that you have going from, into the capital reserve for vehicle replacement,
yeah.
you base that on what's coming up? See-
Yeah. The vehicle replacement schedule in the budget.
Right,
We look at what the stuff's costing, what we think the residual value of the current equipment is,
but you.
and then spread that out over the number of years of the life of the piece of
And so
equipment.
some of that actually could come back after we sell.
Yes,
But,
but that's factored in
Yes.
there, you know.
yes. So,
So the trucks aren't $90,000 apiece.
The dump trucks are
Yeah.
like 250, 260.
So we're selling the other equipment that's putting us down to the 188. So it's $90,000
Right.
is what we're expecting to spend to get new trucks with the sale of the current equipment.
but there's, that 188 includes extra, right? I mean, we
That's
normally,
for,
yeah,
that's for all of the
yeah,
vehicles, yeah.
right. So we put a certain amount of money in capital reserve per vehicle, so we have money left over. So, I mean, don't wanna gut it, but, you know, you could,
I think one of the last line items is taking another $100,000 out though. So we are
Yes, that's
already-
just for building the capital reserve.
No, I think
Yeah.
I thought of, okay, transfer to capital, go ahead, yep.
so I always look at it this way, the money that we're putting into capital reserve is important. But it doesn't always have to be this amount.
Right.
If it was 175,000 instead of 188,000, we're still putting money aside, it's just not quite as much. Same thing with the capital reserve, if you put 100,000 in, could be 80,000, or it could be 90,000. I mean, you don't wanna keep doing that, but I also don't want, I also don't want a huge tax increase, none of us want it. So this is no.
The electric street lighting, 434, 361, that's our bill, correct? Yeah, that one we can't,
Can't do anything with that.
just an
And
FYI.
we're locked in for
I'm just
3
seeing what
years.
we budgeted last year and then what we paid, you know, projected for this year. That's why I kind of lowered it down to closer to what we were
Well,
projected.
We were expecting, what they told us was we were expecting a 44% increase in the total, because our contract expired, we're starting a new
Right, and we
contract.
switched over,
Yeah.
which lowered our cost.
So, but it doesn't appear that the increase was as steep as what they had,
Well, that's good.
which is good.
That's good, cause mine is,
Let's hope it sticks.
mine electric bill is crazy.
Turn off all your lights, right, Jane? Leave a room turned off.
Literally, I do,
LEDs?
yeah.
Yeah, leave
I have, no, that's not a joke.
Streetlights are.
I have motion lights going up my steps, so I don't have to turn the lights on to walk up the steps. Yeah, and they run on batteries.
Back up on snow removal, the supplies, the anti-icing, we're locked in those prices with
I
the
thought
salt
that was a lock-in, too.
contract.
We just can't tell them we want X amount instead of taking the full.
Yeah, every year in July, we have to put in what we want, and then we're locked into 60% of that, and that's what this is. We have to buy a minimum 60%, we can buy up to 150%
Right.
on the contract, so.
I figure we can cut, because the nice thing is, we're gonna have a pretty mild winter this year coming up, so.
From your lips.
Knows.
Well, I minored in meteorology in college,
Remember
and I
that
still
one.
deal with NOAA, and
We-
everything we're seeing right now, it's gonna be mild.
Well, I hope so.
Yep, that's what a lot of municipalities thought just a few years
Yeah.
ago, then we got the blizzard
Yeah.
and they didn't have money to do the snow removal, so, just saying.
Yeah. No, you gotta have it there, it's just hope, you pray you don't have to use it.
One thing I did cut, Roger, in the snow and ice is for the for the salt making, the brine, the 432,740. I researched it. We can actually put in for a grant to get money to help with that.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to have that in place this year. That's money we've been carrying
Yeah.
over for the last about 3 years. Clint's very interested in getting that
Good.
set up.
And we were gonna do that, right? We weren't gonna
We have a skip.
contract that out. We were gonna do that ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And hook it up, yeah.
And Jane, another big cut I put in was 433,740, the battery for Lingle Avenue traffic light. And I know Roger saw the email today that came from the county, that I asked the county how many times that we've had to have traffic control at that red light over the last 5 years. It was 4.
Yeah.
So, and now all 4 were in 2021. There's been
I have no
other-
problem with that at all.
Yeah, nobody's been there. And that's another thing I looked into. We can put a grant in to get it. If we want to put a battery in there, we can get a state grant for that.
The only, and I'm all for getting grants, the only thing is somebody has to write them. That's a time-consuming
And there's probably a
process.
match for
Yeah,
whatever the
and
grant is, so.
But I'm all for get rid of the battery backup. I'm sure the police chief over there is just cringing. So,
Nobody's been there since 2021 directing traffic, so.
Just remember, then you're gonna have a cop standing there for several hours
Yeah.
and not doing anything else but directing.
yeah.
Call PennDOT. State highway.
Yeah.
We used to do that.
Right.
We used to do that at fire company all the time. We have a tree down and they're like, we're not staying here all night. Call PennDOT, we're leaving.
Well, we have all these police officers now too. We can send them out there to direct traffic.
That's what you folks want. I'll let somebody stand there until the power comes back on. I'll give you what you pay for it.
That's our busiest intersection. It's the only intersection that's not battery backed up. All the other ones are. So, and we've had issues there where power goes down and we do have a generator connection on it, but sometimes it doesn't work and it's just, you know. And it ties up the police. I don't know how many times the police have been there.
It just went
Setting up.
down several months ago.
Yeah, it's becoming more frequent. That's why
Police
I
there, I
put
believe,
it in.
at that point, yeah. Question for wastewater collection and treatment system, 429. 440. We have no say in the tipping fees, correct?
Are you under sewer?
I am in sewer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. 429.
429, 440. Tipping fees. Do we have any say in those? Do we have any say in those, in the tipping fees?
No, they're $72 a ton times the tons we take to them.
Okay.
What number was that again, Beth?
429, 440, it's on page 3 of your sewer packet.
No, in our budget.
Oh.
I need to, hold on.
Oh, the grease, I got it,
Will be
429.
440.
page,
There it is, sorry.
That's another one I decreased because we haven't
Page
used it in 5
36.
years.
And here's the thing, and I may be wrong for doing this, but I don't normally, I concentrate most of my budget on the general fund because that's where the tax increases usually come from. I wasn't so much worried about sewer this year because it sort of holds its own. But I'm more, it's good to look at the whole thing, and I do. It's just I don't normally focus on
Right.
sewer because it's.
there's more
Well,
variability in the general fund?
That 800,000 is coming not from the sewer fund.
So Marcus, when you posted your comment today, you had made a reference to taking the budget from an $810,000 overage, or deficit, I should say, to 156. Did you include all of these funds in that calculation?
That's the general fund,
Just the general
Yeah.
fund? Okay,
because everything else is pretty much all
yeah,
the same,
because the rest are fee-based.
yeah.
Okay.
The landscape trailer. What do they do now?
We have one, it's not in the best of shape in the world, but he would like to be able to run two separate crews, two different locations. We don't have that ability right now.
And that's the reason for the third mower, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
which, both of those were on my cut list.
Mine too. And what line item is that landscape trailer coming out of? I probably missed it, but I didn't see it in the budget. You know where it's at? Public Works. I found everything but that trailer.
Um, 430250,
What page?
I think. Pretty sure that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's maintenance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's under 43750, the minor purchase.
What page? What page?
There's no page numbers here.
Oh.
Oh, 18. Oh, I see major purchase. Oh.
See, I thought that was the washer and dryer. Wait,
That is the washer.
Oh,
dryer.
that is the washer and dryer,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the washer and dryer.
I think we actually have the trailer coming out of capital reserve, if memory serves.
Okay. So that's
We've
in
been buying,
with,
we've been buying all our vehicles out of capital reserve, so,
so that's.
So that doesn't help our general fund budget.
no.
Okay. What about one or two less mowers? At least one.
This one, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh,
hear-
is that out of the capital reserve too?
Yeah, it's part of your, they're actually overdue for replacement.
Yeah.
So it's,
Okay, so that's line item 3413,450 on page 58, correct? The major purchase for Public Works. The 54,685. So that's the mowers and the trailer?
yes.
Yeah, that would be that, okay.
I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot in here that you can scratch.
No, there really isn't. I mean, my goal every year
I know.
is not to have a tax increase, but at the same time,
What's everyone's thoughts on getting rid of the EMS? That's 40,000 a year. And then after, what, 2 years, it goes up to 54,000, we have to pay them a year? Lifeline.
well, you already signed a
We
contract.
just
I
signed
know,
a contract.
I know. But I just wanted to
Well,
point that out,
So what
that
do you do then
that's
if,
39,150 for the first 2 years, and then it jumps to 54,000, we're paying Lifeline. That's crazy. And there's no way we can get out of that anymore,
Out of what?
the contract with Lifeline.
well, there's a 90-day or
I
something?
think it's a 90-day out, yeah.
Okay, the problem is, then what do you do about ambulance service?
Pretty valuable, I think.
You go to First Aid and Safety,
After you just told them, no, thank you?
I
You
don't
think
know.
they're gonna say, oh, sure, we're gonna help you?
They're gonna,
I'm looking at this and that's just. it
I
blows
know
my
you are,
mind.
Anthony, I know, but I'm just,
it
you
may
gotta
be a
think
year,
of what
but
we
they're gonna
did.
ask for money too.
I mean,
Yeah,
business is a business.
they want money too.
Then we can revisit there, but there would be no contracts and there was nothing for the first year.
They both had
And
contracts.
they didn't backfill, no, they did not.
No,
No, they did not. They
First
did
Aid
not.
Safety did not have a
No
contract,
contract.
but they
Said, But then
did,
in the next sentence.
they are going
they
to
talked like they wanted it.
municipalities
So
and asking for
Yeah.
capital.
they spoke one thing and acted another way, so whatever. I'm just saying. Okay, how many mowers do we have right now? Currently, how many mowers do we have?
3. So he wanted to replace 2 of them and get one additional one that was a little bit bigger cut for some of the bigger field areas. That way you'd have 2 separate mowing crews.
So, okay, so we have 2 on the replacement schedule for 2024, so
But
There's one
one
that-
is not due to be replaced till 2030.
Right, he's asking for an additional mower.
yeah, so.
So we would have a
With the
total of
larger
4.
cut, yeah.
I don't think we should do that this year.
I'm all for that. That was the second thing on my list.
How good are the 2 mowers that he's looking to replace? How
Are they all used at the
functional,
same time?
how functional are they right now? Will they get through another summer?
They probably would, but again, you're just kicking the can down the road. I mean, they're already past due replacement.
I know, but we've got to cut where we can.
I'd say I'd get at least
could
the
replace
third,
one.
at least get rid of the third, the extra one we would be getting. That's the first place to start.
Or could we replace one of the 2 and get a
4th.
0 turn that he wants to get? Instead of replacing 2 and getting the 3rd, scratch the 3rd, the extra one, and replace one of the 2 this year.
We have a 0 turn.
They're, yeah,
Right, but he
both
wants,
those are 0
he wants
turns.
all 0 turns.
We have 3 0 turns.
I mean, I realize that it does make mowing big properties like that a lot easier, but
So I'm suggesting instead of
so you're saying,
replacing two and getting a third, which would give us a total of 4, forget that third one and replace one.
so you're getting rid of 2.
Out of the budget, yes. I'm getting rid of the
That's
bigger
not coming
one.
out of capital
I'm getting
reserve,
rid of the
right?
bigger one, and I'm replacing
Taking
one
it out of
instead of
capital.
two.
So that's coming out of capital
Yeah.
reserve, it's
So
not
I'm
helping
cutting
us.
2, yes. I'm
It's not
cutting
helping
2.
us with
So it's
general
not-
fund.
Yeah.
All the vehicle stuff is in, if it's got wheels, it's in the capital
Well,
reserve.
yeah, but, you know, we kept it, I mean,
So
they
you could,
all pay money, it comes in, and we move it from the general fund, like, we have $100,000 going from general fund to capital reserve.
Right, so if we cut out a capital reserve, we don't necessarily have to transfer into capital reserve.
correct.
I mean,
And you only have
we try to do
that's
100,000 every
Let's
year.
pretend it's 2 million. What's the next 710,000?
I'm cutting where I can.
So, hold on, so the mowers were coming out of capital reserve?
Yes. All the, everything in the vehicle replacement schedule comes out
So
of
you've just
capital
cut, what we were, so cutting out the 2 mowers, let's pretend, got rid of the 2 mowers.
Get rid of the washer and dryer.
Okay, but that's your capital reserve fund.
I,
So you're gonna transfer.
follow me,
That's $100,000 is all we're doing in this
and
budget.
get rid of the trailer.
It's still only $100,000 out of the general fund, because all that other money is
I
coming
understand
out.
that,
What
but
we
we
were
don't have to
doing-
transfer then.
we only have 100,000 being transferred in.
Right.
So you can only cut 100,000.
And that
After
leaves
that,
nothing.
it's still all coming out of the capital funds.
I'm just getting started.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but-
I know what you're saying.
So, okay, so just, we can keep cutting vehicles until we're blue in the face, but it doesn't
I
help
know.
the general fund.
I know. I'm approaching it a different way than you guys are used to,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
I just started with capital reserve. I still got lots of business.
That's right, you're right.
Does everybody else follow what I'm thinking so far?
I see where you're going.
I see where you're going, I mean, but I understand what Jim's saying.
Yeah,
We
I
only
do
have-
too.
We try to put the 100,000 into the capital reserve every year. Again, if you cut that, I'm against not putting anything in. But if you cut it, you can't cut it all the way, I don't wanna cut it all the way down to 0, but you can cut it down to 50, but that doesn't make too much of a dent in an $810,000
No, I know.
deficit.
I know. I know. I do understand that, Jane. Thank you.
No, I get it.
And Jim.
What can we do about Heritage Park, the basketball court? We have $23,000 listed to redo the basketball court.
Is that general fund? That's what I was trying to find.
Yeah,
I believe so.
it is.
Well, I,
Are we required to do that?
well,
Is that we must do that, like we have to provide fire service?
it'd be nice to for the community. I know I've
Yeah.
spoken to a lot of kids around my age and younger, and that's something they would appreciate. Because to be honest with you, we haven't done anything to the parks in years.
I understand that.
Besides redoing
Well-
Fireman's Park and Memorial Park, but I mean, there's not much going on there between.
I understand that, and I'm not against it, but when you come to a budget that is $800 and some thousand over, You need to look at your needs and you need to look at
But
your
why
wants.
should one positive thing for all the residents now get thrown out the window? That was like one nice thing in this town that people could be like proud of, and that grandfather.
Anthony, I understand that
I'm
completely.
just saying that we need to look at other stuff, and
Okay.
if we needed.
We need to look at our needs for the borough, and we need to look at our wants for the borough.
I know what needs and wants are, but we had this planned last year, and a lot
I
of residents were
understand
very
that.
happy about that. And so now you wanna tell them they can't have that? I'm just saying, like,
Also don't want their taxes to go up like
I
crazy.
mean.
When it comes
I
to
mean,
running a borough, you need to
I
look
mean,
at what you
that
absolutely
was
have to
20
do to keep that borough
was
running.
23,000, and now we're doing ambulance of 40,000. I mean, oh my gosh, it's.
We have to
ridiculous.
provide ambulance service.
And we
We
had
do
an
not,
ambulance service. We had ambulance service that would have done it for free.
we don't?
No, we have to provide fire
By
service.
fire, you're not required to provide EMS. Roger, just out of curiosity, how come the park never got, the basketball court never got done this past year?
Because the guys that were gonna do it are no longer here.
Okay, I didn't know, that's why.
When it comes down to MS4 stormwater mapping and figuring out our sewer lines and keeping the sewer lines working and open and not broken, I'm sorry, I'm voting for that over a basketball court.
Just like EMS, right? I'm just saying, I mean, this is 23,000
With
that we
every
decided
due
on last year.
respect, Anthony, if you're having a
Hey,
heart attack,
I'm
I want
not-
us to have an ambulance so they can get to you and save your life.
Had one, First Aid and Safety would have done it for free, and they
So
would
you
have
think.
backfiled.
So you think.
Well,
Just
okay,
saying.
there's no reason to discuss it. We did
No,
sign a contract.
we
We
did.
can't get out of it before
That's in the
90
past.
days. And yes, we are paying a per capita,
We gotta do
which you
something.
helped get down. So kudos to you, you helped get that per capita down.
Yes, you
And
did.
we were gonna end up paying a per capita with First Aid and Safety Patrol. It's the way of the world.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, let me do this.
I'm not against the basketball court. I'm not. But there's other things that are a little bit higher on the list right
There's
now.
always gonna be other things, Beth, there's
I
always.
understand that.
And I'm just telling you, this is that a lot of people in this community were looking forward to finally having that. And that's just
I
one
know
nice
that.
thing.
I know that.
Harris
I
Park
don't
has
wanna
been
cut it
there
if I don't
since,
have
like,
to,
the
but
60s.
just like Tom's Flowers last year, he really wanted that, and there were people in the town that
but-
wanted that too.
But see, that was under the same mindset,
when
trying
it
to
came
help
down to
Palmyra
it,
become like,
It had to be cut. Okay? I'm just
I don't
saying.
think, there's always gonna be something. I think there's a lot of things that we could have done differently, like, for example, like, we could have put together a finance committee like some boroughs have, and we could have met throughout the year instead of just one day like this. Like, why are we doing that? This is crazy to do. We could be here till 11 o'clock. Why
There
don't?
have been years we are here.
But why don't we have a finance committee? Because I'm pretty sure back in like 2010, 2009, 2008, there was a finance committee perhaps. And you meet what, once a month or something? We could have went over all this throughout the year, and we could have put together plans instead of now we have what, 2 weeks, so we have to get all this done? 2 weeks, right? Right? 6 weeks.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
still,
well, but
if we had a finance
three-
committee, we
three
would have
meetings.
done a lot better. It would have been a lot better with our time and everything, just like Public Works. Why don't we have a committee of Public Works?
So from what I
It's just-
understand, the committees were gone before I got on council.
Yeah,
but
and we need to
they
bring them
were-
back. We need to bring them back.
There's, here's the
Well,
reason.
we can.
Do you want me to
vote.
explain why there's no more
Yeah.
committees?
You don't
Because-
realize how we were in a hole all the time.
Yeah,
We were in a
Alls we
Trying to
did,
find stuff to do
Committees
for
were
them
three
and this and
members.
that.
right.
and every committee meeting was a repeat of the other committee meeting because all the other members wanted to know what the other committees were doing.
Yeah.
So that's why we're meeting twice a month now instead of once.
so our
And
first
all
meeting.
we did was do agendas and minutes for the committee meetings,
Yep.
and they were pointless, they were worthless.
Okay,
Nothing was done
but
there.
now we have different
We
people
get
on
much more
council.
done now with the whole group meeting twice a month.
I know, but this is like, we just get,
Well,
I just
well,
think-
at this,
You don't
at
like-
this
If you
point,
don't like it, walk out.
Okay,
Well,
Fred.
here's the thing.
but at this point,
I'm
you're
s-
already at this point. We have until the 26th of November, have to make a preliminary budget. So it would be my advice to just continue on with your conversation.
Yeah, we used to have workshop meetings.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of committee meetings, where we did a
right, I
workshop
forgot
as a
about
whole.
the workshops.
technically, even though it's a voting meeting, that's our first,
I think that was my first year.
our first meeting of the month, is our workshop meeting.
Well, we don't even need to meet every month, but like, if we had some line items that we
Okay.
could discuss with the finance.
Let's
we
get
could've
back
gone
to
over it
budget.
better.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
that sounds
yeah.
like a good plan.
Question,
Plan.
line item, page 13, line item 401761. I think that is the admin vehicle? That's gonna be. Never mind, forget it,
Yeah, that's,
Capital reserve.
never mind.
Got wheels, just remember. it's got wheels.
Question, same page, page 13, line item 401357.
I'm sorry, say it again, 401.
Page 13, 401357. Cybersecurity, I'm sorry, next one down, sorry. My eyes are crossing. 401358.
Yeah, that's
Why
your,
is that so high?
That's the appraisals we're having done.
that's the
on-
industrial
Oh,
appraisal.
oh,
that
oh,
we're-
okay.
That's the one,
Required every 5
that's the
years.
one
Got
I
it.
did
Yes.
cut, Beth, and then they explained that.
I didn't realize it was the same
industrial.
one, thank you.
Can I, while you're looking?
for it.
Because we're on the same page, so on page 13. Hold on, let me find it. There's a big difference for, I'm sorry, 401342, printing a newsletter. Is this, it's a big difference between what's being, not necessarily, it's a lot less than what was budgeted for 2024, but it's a big difference between what's projected for 2024.
Why is it so much less?
Are we,
good question.
yeah, are we doing something different, or if we're only projecting less than $1,000? I mean,
wondered that
again,
myself.
it's $600, but
Yeah, it's,
Well, the projected amount that 941, I think, is what's left for us to pay. We have one more newsletter that we're going to run in December.
But that wouldn't be how a projected 2024 would be, when you
Right.
project.
Oh, that would be the
it-
total for the
yeah.
year.
We
Right.
would take 3 quarters and then multiply it for that last quarter, so, I mean, if that's the case,
it would be,
then that 941's incorrect.
it should be 1,600 and something right now.
Probably.
We're at
1,500 and some.
1,059 right now.
Okay.
And we have one more.
It would be like,
Okay, so that's really not gonna
1,000.
be too much.
no.
Okay. Can I stay on the same page? Kathy,
Sure.
do you mind? Nope. 401420. Dues, subscriptions, and memberships. Is that the same thing? Wait, because we have a projected of 1,800 and a budget of almost 2,500 next year.
We are currently at 2804.
and which, does that cover like our PA Boroughs Association, the Mayor's
Yeah,
Association, all
all
that stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Okay, can I make, how much do we pay for them? Those magazines that we get every month?
I don't get it.
Borough dues.
I think they're included as part of the membership. I don't think we pay extra for
We don't
them.
pay extra
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
part of your
Okay.
membership for the PA Boroughs.
Because I'd be willing to share, but if we're not paying per subscription, then,
I don't believe so.
although in the long run, it probably ups our dues, because we're paying for all of those anyway.
Yeah, we pay like 200 and something to be members per year
Per person or
No.
as a group?
total.
Can't- I have to- Your eyes go buggy after a while looking at this. Okay. Same page, 401441, janitorial floor maintenance. Are we gonna have to do Because that's a huge difference from what was budgeted to what we're paying. Is that how it is every year? I mean, did we do something different this year that it's so much more?
No, we just put it out for bid, and that's what the first price was for, our contracted janitorial service to do it, Green to do it. And they weren't very successful in doing the job when they did it, so I think he was happy not to have to do it again.
Okay.
So I went out, we looked for bids to get
Okay.
people that just do floors to do
Okay.
it, and that's what the cost was. That was the cheapest one. And the-
So that is
And I-
extra to what we just awarded earlier tonight.
Yes, that's an increase.
Okay, next one's 401-460, continuing education. I'm not, did we have something, is that a normal increase, or we budgeted 750 last year, and now we're up to 14 this year? Did we do extra stuff for?
Yeah, because you got new employees. You got a new zoning officer and a new codes officer, and
Okay.
they're wanting to do more training, so.
Okay, I mean, because I can't have a problem when employees want to be trained. Go ahead.
Page 16. Police Department. Chief. There is a $937,611 increase in the budget for next year.
No, there's not.
My budget's actually going
Yeah,
down from the
yeah.
number that's posted here.
I'm sorry, what line are we on?
I don't think you're including Anvil's payment.
410,454, projected is 1,229,844, and budget 2025 is
That wasn't a full year.
2,167,455.
We weren't at a full year.
The regional
For
department
2024.
started it in halfway through the
Yeah.
year.
It actually started June 1st.
June 1st.
So we had the
So, yeah.
Palmyra Police Department for half this year and then regional last half.
That was your police department cost for 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The 1.2.
yes. Yeah,
And now your cost for 12 months will be 2.1.
Instead of 2.5.
I'm not saying that out loud.
So it would have been 2.4, 2.5 roughly. Had it been regional all last year,
And unfortunately,
hypothetically.
that's not in your control anymore.
I understand that, I just have a question.
yeah, I mean, if you look at what was budgeted for the full year for 2024, you can see there's only, I mean, even this draft budget, it's only 60,000 more than what was budgeted for the entire police department for all of 2024.
How are you figuring that, Jane?
Okay, see, budget 2024, 2.1 million,
Okay,
and budget 2025 is 2.16 million.
okay.
So
So,
the budget would have been a full year budget, the projected is only 5 months,
5
6
months,
months.
okay.
Whatever.
So my question is still, what's included in that extra 60,000?
Salaries.
They
And
meet-
actually,
They meet tomorrow night.
yeah,
That was my other question, when's the next meeting?
okay, and salaries
Where?
actually are more than what this projected increase is. So as a member of the commission, I think that she's done a wonderful job with the budget because.
I'm not bashing him, I just.
No, I
had
know you're not.
questions. I just
But
had questions.
Our
Just wanted to put you on the
salary,
hot seat.
according to the CPI, is more than the amount of the increase for the budget, so things have,
Don't say it.
I know, I don't wanna say it. I'm hoping but technically, it's 5:30.
5:30.
Tomorrow night.
Yes. But technically, it's,
It looks flat.
yes, it does.
Year over year, it looks flat.
Yeah, it really does, because really salaries are more than what the projected increases in the budget.
Has there been any other interest or any talk of additional?
We
Okay, thank you.
talk a lot about it.
We need like 2 or 3 more, I'm guessing, for it to go down. But I'm crossing my fingers and praying.
Really, the biggest problem that you have with your budget is the fact that you have to fund them at January 1st.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough money to fund your borough operations on January 1st. So you either keep your money and they flail, or you pay them and we don't make what we need to. So that's your biggest discrepancy in your budget.
So is this a one-time shortfall because of the way, so instead of paying I'm gonna use round numbers here. Instead of paying $10 a month to pay the police department, we're paying $120 for the year upfront, January 1st. So we have a shortfall of $810,000, but over the year, we should be able to make that up. So is there a way that we could do a one-time increase for that expires? So if we need to save $800,000, we divide that over the next 8 months, whatever the millage, that would be that increase of 1.36. And at the end of 8 months, September 1st, that millage rate drops back to where it would need to be to cover the budget without the $810,000 shortfall.
I'm lost. The
I
800.
It's a one-time shortfall, so because we're paying the $120 all at one time instead of $10 a month, that's where the shortfall is coming from.
Is that every year?
No,
Well,
just
but
once.
This year?
Well,
Just this coming year?
See, I don't see it that way. I see that these projected amounts are yearly. So,
Next year,
well, yeah, because
you
if
will
you
have,
if you hire somebody for salary and benefits of $115,000 a year, it doesn't go away at the end of the year.
no,
Right,
we're
but
just
like-
transferring it all at one
One
time.
time, instead of like we've had
No,
been
I get
month,
that
month,
point.
month.
So
Now
we were
it's,
collecting taxes
Right, and then.
and then paying
Pay,
and
right,
collecting
collecting,
taxes.
right.
What we're going to do is pay and
then
then
collect
collect taxes
taxes.
and keep collecting taxes and we're behind.
Well, I get that, but I don't see how.
Once you catch up, you're caught up then. You won't
But
be
how do you ever
behind.
catch up?
How are you only paying it once?
Yeah, I mean, that employee and that mower's not going away. I mean, the mower, sorry, that's a one-time purchase. But some of these other things are not one-time purchases.
The above and beyond, what I'm, with the shortfall that
employee's not.
I'm looking at is, by paying all at once is what's creating this shortfall.
instead of having a month-by-month payment like we have for the police department over the years,
Okay.
now it's $2 million right now, instead of
You almost need a
instead of
PowerPoint.
$10 right now, it's $120.
I
see it-
understand where you're going, but again,
So your increase wouldn't be for to cover the 800, it would be a small, you'd still probably need an increase, but it's gonna be much smaller increase, because then you're building a surplus so that you can pay January 1, $2
okay,
million.
so what happens next January one?
You're gonna do the same thing again if you don't fix this.
Right,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying.
That's why
You're
I'm
gonna
saying.
have it every year.
So you have,
Yeah.
yeah, but you've gotta have the first year catch up. And then it shouldn't continue on. You should be funded at the right spot.
So how do you fix it?
Well, that's what
Bring
I'm
on
saying,
new
you have
police
the,
departments.
no, you have
Get
the
more
one
people to
time.
join, they told us that. You
Well,
gotta
yeah,
get more,
if-
if you don't get more people, more police departments
That's
join,
what I
we're gonna
just
have this
said.
problem
That's what I
forever.
just
Yeah,
said, yeah, you gotta bring
exactly.
more people
And we
on.
all knew this.
Okay.
Well, but again, it's, dishing out the money for the police is one issue. But again, it's really revenue neutral. when you
Yeah,
think
what's
about
happening
it.
is all of the, you're taking all the cash. In the-
Right.
It's the same thing you do with
Yeah.
amortizing your mortgage. You're front loading everything.
Right.
But halfway through the year, you will have the funds then, you should have a surplus in our accounts that next year we should be able to pay them and not have this shortfall again. Because now we've collected the revenue over that time, but we have to do
But
the
that
short-term
revenue
makeup.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I'd have to do a PowerPoint to do it.
Yeah.
But-
No, I get the concept.
Yes,
I just don't get it because next year we're still gonna have
a tax increase.
expenses. Yes.
And it's not gonna necessarily be the police force, it's going to be oil, gas, blah, blah, cars, trucks.
Well, and this year, technically, it's not the police force.
Correct. Their revenue, they're neutral. From last year to this year, they're neutral.
Well, there is, I explained this before, the main impact, the reason we're at 819 now short is because we're starting out almost $350,000 less than we normally do.
Right.
So if you take that off, you'd be more at like $500,000, which is where we typically are at this time of year.
Okay. Are you working on another
Go
one,
for
or
it.
can I go
Go
ahead?
for it.
Okay, page 14. Just a question on, let me get the line item, 403-101. If that's what we just okayed, so shouldn't that have doubled? I think, to me, that looks like it's lowballed. It looks like it was basically based on the 50 cents per bill rather than the dollar per bill. God, that makes the budget worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a little over 4,500.
Yeah, we're at 3,006 for,
Right.
right now.
So I'm thinking that the budget amount of 3125 is low.
That's too low.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, these projected
Should be about
numbers.
4688.
Yeah, but we're now gonna pay $1 per bill next year. So you
Yeah,
would
an
think
extra
that would
50
have
cents should be
mostly doubled.
Doubled that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of the other ones was, oh, hold on, what's that? Go ahead, yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
We talked about this once before, if the crossing guards, is the police taking that, or?
No, that was
that's
the
another
question.
thing.
Have we gotten anywhere with the school,
Page, Anthony.
the school district, or?
11. 11
They,
was his public safety.
crossing guards is one thing I had to add into the budget because I thought they were staying in the police budget and we were just gonna work, but it's not in his budget, so I had to add this to here.
And we get 50% of that back from the school?
Yes.
Okay. Have we
So-
talked to the school about taking the entire project on?
We had meetings with them. We talked about reducing the number of crossing guards. The school district doesn't want to reduce the number of crossing guards. They're opposed to outsourcing the crossing guards. So there's solution was to try to get more people interested in being crossing guards, is to increase their hourly rate from what is now $14.77 an hour to $18 an hour starting January 1.
It's great they can pay for it.
Can
Don't
we
worry, they're passing it right along to us.
I know they are, but still.
dump it on the school board?
So, question, is that normal practice that the municipality pays for half and
It's
the
in the
school?
borough code.
Okay.
We have to always. Really?
If you have crossing guards,
Yeah, if you have crossing guards.
if you have crossing guards, it's a 50/50.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking to reduce crossing guards.
No, I don't want
No.
to.
I mean, that's,
Department.
No, I don't want to, but I think the school should take it on. That's just me.
well, they do, I wanted them to just take care of it. So
Yeah, they
we didn't
should.
have to worry it at all, but we'd still be on the hook for half of it.
They're gonna double the price.
Yeah.
Pass it along to you.
I'd rather us have some control over school taxes.
There's no other, I guess, areas, boroughs, counties where schools might pay for 70% of it or take all of it.
Well, if the borough code
Yeah, the
said
borough
it has to be
code-
All borough
50/50.
code,
Yeah, all boroughs would be the same.
Oh, we can be the different. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Okay, question. Oh, this may be page 20, under parks, 454371. Does that 21,000 include the it can't include the basketball court. Maintenance land.
That is just for the athletic field maintenance.
For all the parks?
Well, we
Well,
only,
we only have them, yeah. At Fireman's Park.
yeah, it's for.
Memorial Park,
It
sorry.
includes we have Davis Landscape that takes care of fertilizing, overseeding the athletic field area. And then we also have annual costs to put the playground mulch down that's required around the training session, that kind of stuff. And Diamond Tex for the ball fields.
Okay.
So that's all that.
and the Davis Landscaping does that.
They just do the fertilization, herbicides.
Did they use all the Diamond Tex last year?
I don't think we put any Diamond Tex down this past year. We budget for it every year, but we didn't, with the
That might
staff
be why
changes that we
our
had, we didn't-
projected is a little
it's
lower than
low.
what,
Yeah, because we didn't use it.
Okay, so it's not someplace that, something we could take out, because we would probably need to do that this year.
We gotta keep the parks nice. I mean, you can't not make the parks nice, or you're gonna have all the families moving out of the borough, I can tell you that.
Well, I do agree with you,
They're all gonna
Anthony,
move to
but
North
I'm worried
Londonderry or
about,
South
I'm
Londonderry.
worried about people moving out of the borough when they get hit with a $600 or $700 tax increase.
You won't have that, no one will be living here, all the families will be gone.
That's what we're looking at.
No, well, I just don't think
So
you
I'm
hurt the
with you, but
parks. You gotta keep the parks strong, you gotta do that. And you gotta find other areas, you
Alright.
got to.
Page 36.
Well, you're in the sewer fund.
It's, the dirt on the ball field. She goes for about 3 years.
Are you in the sewer fund?
I am in the sewer fund. I just have a question. 429,450. What are those contracted services for? Contracted services. Under
For pump
wastewater
station
collection.
one.
I'm sorry?
For pump station one, did you?
No, under wastewater collection and treatment system continued at the top of the page.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong.
429.450 contracted services.
That's for just in case
Just in case what?
something breaks and we can't fix it ourselves.
And just as a point of reference, last night we had over 100 text messages from Pump Station 3.
Okay, so those are for pump stations.
So
It was lonely.
this is all sewer fee.
So that's
You're in the sewer.
that's in addition to the contracted services under each pump station. Right?
Yep.
Okay. on page 45, again, it's just a question, because I don't understand why. Page 45, under recycling collection. Wages, 426,112. Wages, full-time recycling.
Yeah, we spread the public works salaries out over the three funds on a percentage basis about what, they spend time doing those jobs.
But-
So much time in sewer, so much time doing, your leaf collection and your chipping collection, that type of stuff.
Okay, so that's still considered refuse, is the chipping and the leaf?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was confused because we don't have trash anymore, so
Right.
that's why I was like, why is it listed under recycling when we don't do it? But, okay, got it. And then 427,450 down at the bottom for next year, is that the accurate price?
Which,
Until we get, I didn't get,
Oh, you don't
we didn't
know
get a
yet.
bill for
Okay,
Casella yet, so,
okay.
but it's my
Okay,
best guess at this point,
okay,
based on the percentage of increase that we had between the two contracts.
okay.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna be a smartass. Sorry, didn't mean to say yes. when I said it to you.
Place.
But boy, don't those carts look lovely in all the alleys.
They all match.
Did you like the tornadoes in the alleys with the trash going around and
No,
around and
I
around and
didn't, but
around?
I'm telling you,
And then it goes
they-
in your face
they-
and then
they
it goes in
really
your
look
mouth
sort
and
of
then it's like,
crappy.
yeah, that wasn't good.
My neighbor
either,
has his
so.
out in his front porch.
There's
Of course,
still
I don't think he's
some,
living there right now.
Well, then the code enforcement officer needs to go there and
Some
tell
of us
them
don't
to,
have any.
right? We gotta let them know they gotta be placed in the
Sorry.
back.
I must be getting punchy now.
just a little.
well, you can always put in your ordinance that they're not allowed to keep them outside, they have to
Yeah.
keep them in a garage or
Yeah.
No,
in a
she was
shed.
saying, that they keep them
No,
on
I
their
mean, I
porch.
must have seen like 15 of them behind somebody's, garage, alley garage. There's like 15 of them just sitting there.
But is there anything in the alley? No. There you
I don't
go.
know, I was trying to weave my way around the carts.
I know that Elizabethtown has an ordinance that you can't keep your trash cans outside.
Really?
Keep them inside.
The only problem with that
Like
is
that.
where do you put them if you don't have a garage?
It's not going in the house.
I think
I'll be
that's
damned if it was
ridiculous
going in my
personally,
kitchen.
but,
The bags, you can get that recycling right in while you're.
yeah.
Right next to the stove.
But can't you get a smaller one? I heard somewhere.
Yes.
you
Clean the counter
could.
off.
No, not anymore.
Not
We're
anymore,
done.
you had to order it before they,
October 10th.
yeah. Because I thought about doing that.
Okay, moving on, back to the budget. Any other questions on the budget? I got my questions answered. Some were answered before I had to ask them.
Well, I had my answers, my questions answered, but
Still didn't answer.
still didn't do anything.
Didn't solve the problem.
Not happy about it.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that I'm seeing that comes out of the general fund, the fund itself, is the extra. Yeah, and I'd hate to say extra, because we really do need another public works, but I can't. When we're 819,000 now in the hole,
In the laundry.
Yeah.
In the
But-
washer and dryer, right?
yes, and.
And the
and-
boot allowance down from 250 to 150, so.
No, well, I mean, if you're good on that, I'm not good on that.
Fine.
So-
Is it 150?
so
From
you're saying
250 to 150, the boot
A
allowance.
complement of 5, not 6. Because,
I hate to do it, but, I mean, there's nothing else that's a big chunk of this general fund that we can, I mean, that would drop it to, what? 6, what am I talking?
How much is the number?
Well, I don't add good in my head.
Oh,
What, 819 minus 115, so you're still at 700,000.
Hey, this is under general fund, not capital reserve.
but you're okay with at least replacing the employee we lost?
Going back to my question.
Oh, it's $2,000.
Oh,
Because
yes.
we're down to 4 now,
Yes,
correct?
no, yes.
Okay.
No, I
Great.
don't want,
all but
Yeah.
those.
You don't want to stop
No.
at 4.
No.
I mean,
my
we need
God,
to,
no.
we need to go to 6.
No, I know we
but-
need to go to 6, and I
So
would
be it
love to go
5.
to 6,
So,
but we have to at least have 5.
I'm just verifying that at least we
Yes.
can replace the one we lost.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm now at,
Because we're at 4 right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And only 2 with CDLs.
right, and then we replaced the one that we
Right.
lost. That would give us a 5, and if we stop there.
I
for
mean,
this year-
I would love to get another 6, but
Yeah.
I just can't, I don't know where else to cut.
Question.
you're at 241,000.
Bringing my question back because I just realized it is under general fund and not capital reserve.
The $3,000 trailer.
No, it's not the trailer. Page 13.
I thought it was gonna be 13.
401761. How badly do you need to replace the admin vehicle this year?
We're not replacing
We're
it,
not
that's
replacing
just
Yeah,
the
that's
money
just the
that we,
money to go in.
money you put every year towards the vehicle replacement schedule, to replace that vehicle when it's due to
That's
be
that
replaced.
$100,000 capital transfer.
No,
No,
Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
different than the
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
100,000.
the 761 line items are all for vehicle replacement. So there's some that comes out of admin, some used to come out of police, but we don't have them anymore. And 430 Public Works is the other one. The 100,000 is just an additional 100,000 to put in the capital reserve to try to keep it built up.
So Jim, I'm sorry, what did
That has
you,
been decreasing.
are you figuring there, since you're the mathematician?
I am not.
okay. So we
Not one of the
just
things I'm known for.
bought a vehicle in 2022.
Right.
Still at $600,000.
So tell me, Jim,
If you just do the horrible, terrible decisions that you don't want to do, which is the $100,000 that we're not going to transfer to capital reserve, that's the 2 mowers. Your basketball court, which is $23,000. Your washer and dryer, which is another $3,000. You get rid of that road crew, your team member, you're at $241,000 in cuts that you've been able to make right there.
but wait a minute, you didn't take the 100,000 capital reserve out?
Yeah, I took all of it, because that's
But
your
then
2
you-
mowers.
but
You're not
then-
buying the mowers.
Well, no, okay, so the
Then you're not
capital,
transferring that money over to pay for
yeah,
those
but
mowers.
you don't have to take the whole 100,000 out.
How much is a mower? 54, 52?
Total for the 3 mowers that we.
Oh, it was 52.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
was like
So,
60, yeah.
I was still,
It was-
again, then you can,
can't-
50.
So wait a minute,
Three.
so you included,
it still doesn't solve our problem. You're
Okay,
still at
hold on, though.
$568,000.
did you subtract
Better
the
than
mowers and the trailer and the basketball court out of there?
I had the basketball court, the,
Okay, so wait a minute, you're
Washer and dryer.
depleting the capital reserve without putting money into it.
no, we're not buying it.
We're not buying the mowers.
Right.
We're not buying the mowers.
Okay,
So we're not spending the money out of it, but we're not putting any money into it. So we're basically,
Even.
okay, but then you can't count the mowers because they're not in the general fund.
but we can't, but we're not transferring
But
that
we're not taking that
100,000.
100,000 out.
By not buying the mowers, we don't gotta move the 100.
Right.
We don't have
That was my
transfer
point at the
100,000.
But
beginning.
you can't do both, you can't subtract both. Is
No,
that what
no,
you
no,
did?
no, no.
No,
Okay.
no, no,
I
no,
thought
he
you
did not.
subtracted
No,
the
no, he did not.
100,000.
Because we're not
out.
spending that, we can,
No,
don't
he
have
did
to
not.
spend
Stays in the
that.
budget. So you went from 800,000 to go to 700,000, and we'll figure out what it is. the
Well, you
mowers
go to
to try.
700,000 just with the 6th employee.
No, the 6th employee put you at the 600,000 mark.
And you guys all want to take out the basketball that we had planned for
No,
last
I'm
year?
just
I don't
literally.
No, he's just
using-
playing with numbers. He's just playing with
just
numbers
number-
right now.
I'm telling you, you're not getting
Playing with
anywhere close by
No.
doing the worst-case
I
scenario.
know.
Cutting people, getting rid of your capital expenditures, getting rid
Yeah.
of, you are
That's-
literally not even halfway there.
That's-
It's not like we're
only
2/3 of the way there. It's not like we're gonna make it. What's gonna happen is, I mean, what else can you cut?
Yeah, that's the problem.
You're at a point where if you're cutting things, you are cutting services that we are currently either contracted to do or required by law to do. I mean, so it doesn't matter, we can argue about basketball court until tomorrow morning. It's not gonna matter because you still didn't get the number you wanted to get to give everybody no tax increase. You will have to do a tax increase, just figure out how much. It's that simple.
There was no way we were getting away with it.
I will do whatever you tell me to do, but you will not get out of this without a tax increase.
I don't even know that we can get to half of the
That's what I'm
deficit.
saying right now. I just got rid of a person, got rid of your
Yeah.
capital, and got rid of your basketball. I got rid of everything that you didn't want to get rid of.
Yeah.
And you're still not halfway there.
Yeah,
So you have to reserve, just say, hey, these are the bad choices we have to make. And I'll trade places with anybody in the audience if you'd like to sit up here and make these decisions. But I'm telling you, you're not gonna,
If you want the taxes, the cost to go double.
Over 10 years.
oh, a bunch of us have been here, but the whole point, I don't know what else to cut.
Anyone that's been up there longer than 5 years should stay out of the discussion, in my opinion.
Okay.
may I
don't
ask
know.
why?
Has anybody been here more than 5 years?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I
yeah.
haven't been
I'll
here.
put
I don't
over
know.
10, thank
Okay.
you.
I'm actually just
And
curious
she's-
as to why.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, it's not public comment right now. Can we wait, please?
This is my fault. It's my fault.
Sorry, and
Sorry.
yes, I should not have asked it
It's
this.
just frustrating. We can argue about $23,000 basketball court until we're
Yeah.
blue in the face.
Don't have to
You can
ask.
add a zero to it,
No,
and
we
it
can-
still doesn't make any difference.
I get what you're saying, we can argue about it all.
Yeah, it
We're in
doesn't
a
make a
bad
difference.
situation this time around, and
It-
I get it, but
I see what you're saying, Jim, but it does make a little bit of a difference because that tax increase isn't gonna be $20 a month per person. It's gonna be maybe 15. It's
I
gonna
get
be
what you're
less.
saying.
Yes,
We're not
I
making the big decisions
know,
to get where
I
you
know.
wanna go.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I know. Roger, back to that car. Do we really need to put that $3,000 in this year? When the car we have is only 2 years old?
If you want to replace the vehicle
And we're
in
not
15 years and have the
replacing it
money
till
there to do it.
2032?
That's the whole point of the vehicle replacement
I
schedule, is
know.
to have the money.
I
And if
know.
you take money away from
Yeah.
that, then
Then
the
we're gonna
vehicle
be
replacement
stuck.
schedule is pointless.
Yeah. And we're gonna be stuck when a vehicle is needed because nothing's there.
Yes, not fun. This sucks.
It does.
Okay, but then here's the other question. Do we really need the admin car we've got right now, too?
Do we need it?
The size, like, I know we need a pickup, I get that, because we need to go places in the snow.
yeah,
But-
we need a pickup.
I mean,
Are you proposing we sell it?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like when we replace it, do we need,
The same thing.
do we need the same type? Do we need,
Well, okay, so the admin, it's being replaced in 2032.
You're just funding it
Yeah.
Yeah.
yearly, little pieces at a time, so that we don't have this again.
Exactly.
If we're really looking at things of what we can cut, and, if we have to make certain things, I get it, but we really, and I mean this to be honest truth, we need to look at Lifeline and we need to go with another EMS. That is ridiculous, pay them $40,000 a year, and then in a couple years pay them $54,000. That is ridiculous. We need to look at another EMS, and no matter if they're mad at us or if we wanna go somewhere else, but that is something that we can control. Okay, we only can control what we can control, and we can control this. It's not too late. That is something we can take out.
So, in my notes, I have, you're removing the washer and dryer.
Yep.
You're removing the extra mower. You're removing the
I think they're
6,
removing all the mowers, if I heard right.
$100,000, whatever. Well, you had 54 for all three?
I had proposed removing the third one
yeah.
and replacing only one instead of two.
Okay.
I was just going around numbers, big numbers, trying to pick up the number.
So in essence, removing two of the three that we were gonna replace.
So we'll still then have 2 mowers.
Right.
Right, you would have a total of two to use.
Well, we'll have
Oh,
one.
I'm
because
sorry,
they're
no,
all-
you'd still have
yeah,
three.
yeah.
You're just replacing one
Right.
and not the extra. So I'm cutting two. Is that,
But
everybody was okay
what
with
is
that?
What is that, what do two mowers cost round?
About 32,
They're about
34?
They're about 16 grand a piece, I think.
So we say 32, now that changes your number from 241,000. Instead of another 100,000, that 241, you're only getting rid of 32,000. Unless you're not just gonna not transfer the 100,000 to capital reserves. Again, we go even deeper. Let's go to the worst case scenario, go to codes officer. Don't hire the next codes officer that we need. We're now at $150,000 a year, that's round numbers with tax tags and title. You're at $391,000 in cost savings. That's not transferring any money to capital reserves. That's getting rid of two positions, not buying the mowers, not doing the basketball court, not doing the washer. You're still at $391,000.
Do you know we hired the code officer?
No, I didn't, sorry.
Okay.
I apologize, code officer.
So I have no washer and dryer, replace one of the mowers, no sixth public works employee, and no basketball court.
And the boot allowance to go from 250 to 150.
And what?
To 150.
Boot allowance.
Boot
It's down to
allowance.
150.
There's only five
Safety
people
boot
with,
allowance
Yeah,
for
I'm
public
not-
works,
only five people with boots, right?
Yeah.
250 to 150. You don't need $250 for boots.
Talking pennies,
150 would be fine.
I'm not, are we,
You have the
is
trailer on
everybody
there.
else in
There's a
agreement on that
landscape
one?
trailer on that.
I mean, we're not all in agreement with the basketball, but it's on there.
Well, I think it has to be a majority.
I'm looking at trying to do stuff for the residents, and we're making a fight about $250 for public works. I mean,
You're talking apples and oranges. You're
excuse me?
talking 23,000 versus $200.
But the 23,000 would go towards the community, which even if their tax get raised, they will see something positive in their community that they will love, and they might not hate you as much. Just saying.
What were you saying, Beth?
You have the landscape trailer on there. The landscape trailer on your list.
Oh, are we not getting that?
You're cutting that?
You're cutting that, okay. So, I just have to make an observation that, once again, the department that is taking it on the chin is Public Works Department, who provides more service and has higher expectations of the residents in this community and has trouble meeting those expectations. I don't want to hear one person call about leaves not getting collected, because we have a pump station that is crashing. So,
You know, you two are gonna catch the flack on this.
They're the ones that catch it.
Always do.
We always
None of
do.
these guys are around
Yeah.
to get it. They don't realize how
Yeah.
many phone calls you get to them today.
well,
No, I do.
I think hindsight is 20/20. I don't think the regional department was a good idea until you had 3 or 4 people, but now you're stuck with it. So, we'll just tell our new Public Works Department that he is, he's the one that's gonna have to suffer.
Brenda's right.
So, anybody wanna volunteer to provide their phone number so we can send the calls?
I mean, if you
Anthony?
need somebody to talk to them.
I mean, hey, if I don't have my kid and and you guys need help picking up stuff, I'll help. I don't
You're
mind
not
helping.
insured, you can't.
You legally can't.
You don't have a CDL, you can't.
Fine, then you can get my number, I can pick it up.
You're not an employee, you can't.
And they can call me then. If you just asked if I could help, and I just said I could. I don't get it. Like, okay.
I mean, Jim,
I think the other thing, and I've mentioned this now 5 times, is EMS. EMS.
You're not
EMS.
gonna catch up.
Okay, I mentioned it a couple times now.
Anthony,
I think you're losing
not
that
fair.
argument.
Yeah, I know, we just pay
You
like
get
flying.
241,000 out of this, it's gonna get us
Ridiculous.
somewhere else. because
It's 6
that
to 1 on
capital-
that one, Anthony.
Not putting that money aside.
Said
for
it's
that
6 to 1 on
capital
that one, you're
expenditure.
beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do.
Ridiculous, pay $40,000 a year. 4,000.
So I have a question about that food allowance. What do they actually get this year?
120. It's been 120 for years.
So we're actually raising it up a little bit for them.
Yeah.
So it's
Been
been
120
120.
since 2010.
Okay, so I did the math, it looked like they're getting $250 a person, or is that just an ask if they get
That was
more?
That was an ask.
Okay,
They've been getting 120.
so they're not
50,
losing, they're
that's
actually gonna
fine.
gain $30
Yeah,
in
that's
a way.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I wonder how much, I mean, over 14 years,
Don't
30
know-
bucks isn't a whole lot
Wait,
of.
over 14 years.
Over
that-
14
what do
years.
you-
They haven't had an increase in the food allowance. since
They're all
2010.
new employees, a lot of them.
No, there hasn't been an increase in the food
Yeah, but
allowance.
they are all new. This is all new to them. And for Public Works, you're right, in that department, but they're all new
I
employees.
get that, but no, I'm talking about the cost of things.
Yeah, I know that,
So
but
I'm
they're all
sure
new
that-
employees, so they'll look at this and they'll say, that's great. I mean, we
But
can
the
only do
same
so
shoes I
much.
was buying 10 years ago are not the same prices this year.
I was
That's-
wearing-
that's-
I was
That
wearing
was the.
I was
Whether you're
wearing
new or
shoes-
not.
Yeah,
I was wearing shoes that I had back in 2018, so, I mean, I don't wanna hear anyone complain about stuff. I think it's completely fine to keep it at 150 if they're getting 120, and this will be an increase for them. I don't know why that's so difficult.
yeah, that one's not
You wanna-
sitting in my,
You wanna get 250? There's people down in Palmyra who can't even afford shoes. I mean, this is just.
Yeah, it's again, a lot of these are unmovable.
Yeah.
So where are we going from here, gang?
That's what I said, we just wanna start at page one.
I
and go
mean,
down the
I'm
line.
waiting to take minutes on something.
If they are gonna look, they can look. I'll ask you, Roger, we passed the 90 days with EMS. I wanna keep harping on it, cause I just think it's ridiculous when we can beat somebody
I
that.
think they need 90 days notification.
yeah.
You'd have to send them notice that you're getting
Yeah.
out
Cool,
in 90
that's great.
days.
So is everyone okay with that, the borough spending, what, 40,000, that's taxpayer money, then it goes to 54 after 2 years? That's
Well-
taxpayer money.
Not okay with it, but
We need an ambulance
Yeah.
service,
We
and they were the
need
better
an-
choice.
We don't need an ambulance service, but we are doing that, and we
Ask
had
the,
one.
ask
that
the
was gonna do it for
1,000
free.
people that have been
Yeah.
served by the ambulance, if
We
we need the
had one,
ambulance.
we had one here. We had one here that said they would do it
That
for
was
free.
not here 24/7.
Now they are.
What are you talking about? Lifeline wasn't here at all 24/7. They're here like 60% of the time. And we all know that.
right. Now they're
First thing
not.
is
Or now.
You gotta understand
Because we
something,
called
Anthony.
them out on it. And now we're
They
paying them
were
money.
here,
I'm
it
just
was
saying,
first aid and safety. They were fighting to get their ambulance rigs in here, not the other one. They were gonna throw them out of the building.
yeah, I don't understand.
They tried it 20 years ago.
But Fred, I talked to you about this a couple weeks ago, and you said you were fine first aid and safety because it wasn't gonna cost the residents any money, so. It's fine, if you guys wanna make taxpayers pay all this money, go for it, but I'm not, and I'm gonna go on the record that I'm not.
But you're
I
okay
wa-
spending 23,000 plus for
No,
a basketball court.
No, that 23,000, listen, we do a lot for the borough to maintain and keep working and doing stuff, but what are we doing to give back to the residents of
What are
this
you
town?
doing for the
Giving them
It's
residents?
ambulance
still
service.
taxpayers' money paying for that
Oh,
basketball
I
court.
understand that, but that basketball court hasn't been touched since the 60s or the 50s. And I'm telling you that because I played in that in middle school, elementary school, and high school.
Wasn't that
I'm
just
sorry,
re-
when was it touched?
Yeah, the
what,
church
10 years
just
ago?
redid it.
We had it resurfaced.
Within 10
resurfaced?
years ago.
Yeah.
But
Don't say it wasn't touched since the 60s.
oh my, you know what I mean by it's not.
No, I don't
touched.
know what you mean.
Okay, get your all me. Okay, ooh, listen. That we need to do stuff to help out the residents of this town and make them feel like they're part of stuff. You go to other communities and they make things positive in their atmosphere and stuff. We do a lot of things that helps out the borough with maintenance and stuff, and we have to. But we need to also look at like what can we do for the town. And if we need to take it out, that's fine. I will have to agree with that.
It's
But
not
this
the right-
EMS, I will tell you this, if we have to, because we need to bring the tax down, I will do that, because we have to bring the tax down. Then we need to take the EMS out. We need to do that, and we need to find a cheaper one.
There
I'm
isn't
just
a
saying,
cheaper one.
there is. We had one here.
You had a group
Talk is
here.
cheap, Anthony, remember that.
I.
Talk is cheap,
Okay, you're talking,
Okay,
okay.
wait a minute.
remember that.
Oh my gosh,
First Aid
I
and
know talk
Safety
is
did
cheap.
say that they would not expect to be paid the first year, but they were going to ask, in fact, part of their presentation was they were going around to other municipalities to ask for a per capita.
They said it would get to that at some
Yeah.
point, but it'd be no contract or anything. They would just want something of a motion that we would work with them. That was it. I'm not even saying we have to go with them, but there has to be a better one that we're gonna be spending 40,000.
Well,
That's more than a basketball court.
Yeah, but.
2 years,
Some of
54.
us felt a little more secure knowing there was a contract.
I think people felt secure because they had Hershey Lifeline. You're going to Hershey Medical Center.
No, because with a contract, if they mess up, we can hold them
con-
accountable.
no,
With
no.
no contract, they can walk out on us and we have nothing to stand on. With a contract, they don't show up, we have something to back us up and say, hey, we've got a contract with you. Why didn't you show up?
Okay, how have they been?
Why are
there
you
then?
not over there this morning when we had a call come in? Where were
Contracts don't
you?
always work that way, but okay.
If we have no contract, we can't say anything.
I see, okay, that's fine, I get it. You want the taxpayers to pay that amount of money. I get it.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying without a contract, some of us,
fine.
that's why we voted that way.
A contract isn't, okay, there's a lot of things that go into a contract sometimes, but okay. But if that's what you want to keep EMS and pay the 40,000 and 2 years,
You need an
54,000.
ambulance service, Anthony.
Like Jane stated, or Jim, we don't technically need that, we're doing that, and we can find someone that will provide it for free, and that will work with people's budgets and what they're making income base to determine what the cost is, and they won't backfill. So, we had that, and we could find another one like that, but I get it that you don't wanna go that direction.
And
I
the
get
other
it,
issue
But,
had to do with the insurances.
no, I know, but there was no.
They covered every single insurance in this area.
Show me the facts.
The other one didn't.
Do you have the paper? Show me the
So
facts, the
your
proof.
residents that you're
making
so concerned about
Not,
are
you-
gonna have to pay so much more out of pocket if we would've went with the other
Not
one.
true at all, because these are
Oh, my
statements.
goodness.
You're not giving me facts. and
Whatever,
You're not giving
whatever.
me proof.
Whatever.
I'm not talking with statements, like, I can give you facts and proof.
Okay, moving on, back to the budget, because
I just have to
can't get
say,
anywhere with
I have
you.
to go to the dentist tomorrow, and I'm so
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Can't talk to anybody with you.
Gotta be better than this discussion.
How can you not talk to me? Because I even said that if we need to take the basketball court out to help the
It's
ta-
what you-
Beth, listen to me for a sec. I said that if we need to take the basketball courts out, help
I know
lower
that,
the
but
tax.
you
I
won't
said I
drop the
would.
EMS either.
Because look at you, you won't do anything about it because you are so,
I'm-
oh, it needs to be $40,000 for the first 2 years and
at you.
54.
Look
I'm-
at you!
I want that out to help
And
the
I'm giving you reasons
taxpayers.
why we voted for what we voted for,
Okay.
and you're not hearing it,
am
because it's
hearing
not
it.
your way.
It's, wow, is this how you talk to people, Beth, with your angry face? It's not
No.
nice, it's not nice.
No, I don't talk in circles either, Anthony.
I'm not talking circles, I'm trying to
Whatever.
make you see something,
Moving on.
Beth.
Moving on. All right,
I'm trying to, like, meet you in the middle of, I'll take the basketball court out, but now it's just ridiculous, no me in the middle, I get it.
whatever. What do we need to do with the budget?
Hit the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Give a big donation.
I'm really more at a loss. This is the first budget that I have been able to find chunks,
Big chunks.
yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I am not in favor of getting rid of the entire capital reserve. That I think would be foolish for us. Capital reserve. I don't think you can deplete the whole thing, because again, it's gonna put us in a bad situation next year. Or the year after.
Follow, and the year after, and the year after.
Yeah.
And you can see we already did it last year.
We're only catching up from doing that several years ago.
I don't mind.
And the roads are
reducing
finally
the
getting
amount.
paved. I get it. I'm fully, I'm with you. But how do you not charge people more and things cost more? Extra, you know, exponentially more. I don't know.
Can we at least come to a consensus of where we would want the capital reserve transfer to be?
Just cut it in half, I guess. That's where I would start.
I would-
King David.
I agree with Jim, start at 50, or whatever, because we're doing 100, start at 50. Yeah, we got something going over
Do
there.
80,000. Do 80.
I'm sorry, keep it at 80 or reduce it?
Oh, no, I would,
Reduce 80.
no, I reduced 20 then.
Okay.
That's a tough decision.
I know it is.
That's tough.
I know it is.
Can we put money in there at any time, or is this the only time, really?
Well,
We
yeah,
can
you can do
transfer.
it, you can transfer.
You can transfer at any time.
So I guess we could do that, like if we took out 50%, 50,000, then maybe in a couple
And
months,
left,
we
if
could
we have
transfer
any,
more in,
in
right?
excess of the time, we can toss a little bit.
So
more
that
in.
makes me feel a little bit better if we did that. So I'd be down,
Prices go hopefully.
I'd be down to do whatever,
You're all-
as long as we can transfer that amount back in by a certain, like,
Well, we can, I'm not sure where the money
it's
would
coming-
come
where it's
from,
coming
but.
from.
Where the windfall's
But you
coming
don't know. But you know what?
If we get surplus sometimes from whoever,
Right.
we can
we
designate
put in a
it to go
couple,
wherever.
couple thousand.
But now we're at $760,000 that we're looking for.
I mean, honestly, it's looking like we're going to go line by line and work our way through.
We've done it.
Yep, and that's, I think that's where we're at, because we have the big stuff now, it's I'm playing the nickel and dime, and
Tough to do in
which is
one
the
night.
tedious
I
part.
do that every year,
Yeah.
there's not much in there that.
I even said to Bruno that
That's the,
wasn't finding much this year.
that is the good thing about Roger, that he is very good about trimming it as much as he can to start. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately. It's kind of a double-edged sword. We got a budget that's very
Do we,
trimmed to begin with, so there isn't a whole lot of room, wiggle room for us to cut. No, it's fine, it's fine.
do we have to have the preliminary budget okayed by the next meeting so it's advertised?
Yes.
That's too fast.
I know.
Like, this is why we need a finance committee, like, this is way too quick.
You can
Oh
have
my
additional
gosh.
budget meetings, that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
No, we can call
We
extra
can actually
budget
have
meetings.
another
We
one.
need
like-
something
We have done
additional.
that in the past.
We need something additional, like a workshop, if you wanna call
Yeah.
it that.
We
But, like,
actually have
This is
had-
like too fast to get it all.
Well, especially when it's this large of a sum.
No
It's-
matter what it is, it's not our money, this is the taxpayers,
and
we
I-
need to take
I
our
agree with
time,
you on that
to,
point.
you know.
And we have had a budget meeting,
had
an
extra budget
additional
meetings.
meeting.
And then I think
Yeah.
that's something that we should look into.
Question out of curiosity. So would there be anything wrong with putting an extra meeting in the budget, in the calendar for next year?
For the budget.
That way,
If you need it.
if you need it, we
Yeah.
have it, we don't have to re-advertise it. If we had another one this year, we'd have to advertise it.
Yeah, I guess the only thing you could do to get around that is to continue this meeting, not adjourn, but to continue this meeting to another.
That's actually, I was gonna say,
We've done
we
that
can
already too,
recess
haven't we?
Yeah.
until,
Yeah.
We've done that already too.
So, okay.
No, I was thinking more of trying to get what we've discussed here tonight in and see. And sort of regroup.
I agree, I like that.
So, Roger, just a question. So let's say we do recess tonight after we go through the other stuff. Can you email us an updated spreadsheet with the stuff we take out tonight so we can start looking at it again?
An updated draft?
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be great.
I constantly work on this.
Right, and I get that. It's
As I
that way
get better
because,
information and.
yeah, we're scratching stuff on here that's like, what was that number again? You know,
Exactly.
what was it that we have to have that I put in mind that we have to have? Madam President?
Are you considering another meeting?
Do we want to add another meeting before the next meeting?
I'm good on Mondays.
Monday works for me.
Works for me.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, I'll make it Monday.
The room's available because we don't have a zoning hearing,
Yeah, I can do Monday.
the 18th.
Does that give you enough time to advertise?
Well, no, if we recess,
You just,
if we recess.
you don't adjourn, you
So
just.
we'll, like, for right now, we'll stop doing the budget now and finish the meeting.
Brenda, what was you were saying?
Well, I will try to be here.
What, 7?
Is that the 18th? We're saying next,
Over time,
18th.
yes.
What time did you want,
Yeah.
you guys wanna do, 18th?
we better start earlier,
That's,
need more time. If we're gonna get, you know, this deep,
you wanna go like 5,
line by line.
5:30?
Uh-oh. Some of us have to get home from work.
Six?
We just don't walk out of our bedroom, get on a keyboard.
Yeah, I
and go,
know, and you're very
Oh.
jealous of my life.
I know, I am, Anthony.
Hey, I get in a lot of traffic sometimes, ease it.
What, are we- what,
5:30 or 6, which works?
I
Better?
prefer
Six.
6.
6?
6.
That's
6?
fine, that's fine.
Jane, Nancy?
got it?
6.
6, Roger?
What is it, 6
Madam
o'clock?
President,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on Monday.
I'd like to make the motion that we recess this meeting until 6 o'clock Monday, November 18th.
We got other stuff to
Other
do yet.
stuff.
We're not done yet.
Still gotta finish paying the
We're
bills.
just recessing this
Nice
part.
thought.
Okay,
Recess the budget part.
actually, we tabled the
Kudos that
budget.
you went through and actually came up with a solution. Not
And that's
just
Monday the
said,
what?
I don't like that. I do appreciate
So
that.
instead of, at the end of the meeting, instead of a motion to adjourn.
Yes, recess.
Continue the meeting until November.
Okay.
I was trying to do.
No, hey, no. Hey, no, you had fun. And I can see the work you put in.
Okay. All right, takes us to President's Report. On October 27th, the Borough of Palmyra lost one of our Public Works employees to an accident. Chris Zerai was originally from Hendersonville, North Carolina. After Hurricane Helene hit his hometown, Chris took time to return home to assist his family and friends with the cleanup. On behalf of Palmyra Borough Council, we would like to extend our sympathies to his wife, Lainey, his daughter, Emily, and his stepdaughters, Jillian and Avery. His devotion to helping others will be sadly missed by the borough. And that is all I've got for tonight. All right, that takes us to financial statement. Financial statement as of October 31st will be available at the November 26th meeting. And delinquent sewer and refuse account report. Brenda.
Looks great.
Yeah. Doing good.
Oh, yeah, great job. Sorry. Somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what's spot on.
He was on Monday the 18th already.
I was like looking at you, but whoa.
Yeah, it's looking really good. I mean, we're working on it.
Yeah, great job.
Thank the girls as always. Okay. Moving on to fire department, EMS report. October Citizens Fire Company #1 monthly report. We all got that in an email. Any questions on that? September Lifeline Monthly EMS Report, we have in our packet. Any questions on that? Takes us to Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department. Chief? Mayor?
Yes, I do have something.
Okay.
I want to tell everybody that I'm resigning from that position of mayor for the Palmyra Borough. I have been down in the dumps, up sick, can hardly walk, things like that, and I am giving it up as of January 1. It was a pleasure working with everybody, but I think I'm shaking here now. But it's just something that I can't handle anymore. I can't handle walking, or talking. My voice stutters a little bit, so I am definitely leaving the January 1st as mayor. Now, there's an individual that I talked to that would make a good mayor, and that gentleman's sitting right there, Mr. Miller. I'd just like to have council consider that in his pick. He was on council for how many years? 7 years. He does get in the way once in a while, but other than that, there he's okay. But I don't want to go, but my wife's pushing it too. I'm presently being under doctor's care from VA hospital. I don't know how many times I've been down there. Dreyer's over here in Palmyra. You name it, I've been there. And I feel bad. I lost my train of thought. But that's just it. And the doctor said it could be Parkinson. And I don't want to screw anybody up. I don't want to get you guys in a jam. Oh, the mayor told us we could have 100,000. So I want to I want to say, you'll see me at next 2 meetings. And after that there, I'm done. And like I said, Miller be a good choice for that position. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk.
That means I can tell you all to go to,
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
until January 1.
no, I do have a question. That'll come under questions.
Mayor, I'd like to personally thank you for all your years of service to us.
But
I'd like to personally thank you for all your years of service.
I only have about 10 years.
Still, it counts.
Absolutely.
I have a little over 50.
Yep, it counts. Do we appoint?
You'll have
At
30
January
days.
1st?
Got 30
You'll have
days, yeah.
30 days from January 1st.
I already checked the calendar.
All right, Chief, you don't have anything? Okay. All right, Planning Commission did not meet this month. Next scheduled meeting is Monday, November 25th, 2024, beginning at 7 PM, which takes us to Public Works Department. Roger?
Okay, you should have a copy of Clint's report in front of you.
Is it 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Wow.
Seems to be an electrical supply issue that they fixed.
Cool.
Any questions? No? Move on. Borough properties, nothing really nothing newsworthy there. Cemetery's quiet still. Parks, DCNR had a webinar the other day. It was about 2 hours long to announce the next grant round for their C2, P2 grant opportunities. So there is an option for us to apply for one of them, and I think from the way that their priorities are working this grant round, I think we'd stand a really good chance to get funded. So possibility, we could probably apply for the loop trail at Southeast Park. We could apply for the basketball court at Heritage Park. The problem is it's only a 50% match. And
Nothing.
50%'s better than nothing.
Yeah, 50
And-
cents better, no?
we have to apply by, I think it's April. We won't know
Till
if we're,
November.
until late fall. They said they didn't know when. So it'd be before the end of next year. And the earliest we could probably do anything would be spring or summer of 2026. So that's something to consider.
I wonder if the Bowman Trust Fund would be willing to make the match.
Would they be willing to work on the basketball court? Would that be-
No, no, that's,
Just a thought.
yep,
No,
yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, no.
I said,
But
I'm not
maybe a
against the
match
basketball
for
court.
a grant to allow us for, usability, functionality, and improvement.
We could
they
plant
might
flowers
consider-
around it.
What's that?
We could plant flowers around it.
So if that's something that you would like us to pursue, I need to contact our regional rep and get a meeting.
Please.
Because I don't know if, we'd probably have enough money to do the trail and the basketball court on one grant, but I don't know if we can do that. But the first step is to meet with her and discuss what we want to do and then go from there, so.
Yeah,
We will do that.
definitely.
Yep.
Oh, refuse and recycling. I can't tell you how difficult the girls have had it in the office the last 2 weeks, dealing with everybody that's so upset with the trash. It's kind of crazy, actually, but we're still working out. Some people don't have their containers yet. Yeah, Jane's one of them.
I think it was the single bag people.
We're still working out. I think Waste Management, as of yesterday, was supposed to finally have all their rear load dumpsters out because that was causing confusion with Casella so they missed some of the dumpster pickups when they started running their routes because Waste Management dumpsters were still there. So hopefully, as of yesterday, that should be taken care of. So hopefully that's another check off the box.
Now, Roger, out of curiosity, how come not everybody got their trash cans at the same time that they're being delivered the other week?
It was the single bag people that
Oh,
we
okay.
just messed everything up.
Thanks, Jane.
We provided a list of all the units. And Casella was not the one delivering. The cart manufacturer is the ones that were here delivering the carts.
Oh, yeah.
So it was not Casella doing that. They were hired by Casella to do this. They didn't do it for free, obviously, but, so that was a whole thing. We had to figure out how many carts they would need. We gave people an opportunity to downsize the containers, so we had to have that list by a certain date because Casella uses the 96-gallon carts. They have them routinely in stock, so that wasn't an issue, but they do not use the smaller carts anywhere else. So they only wanted to order what they needed, plus a certain percentage for mechanical problems, because they have to take care of if anything gets damaged, they have to switch them out. So as of Friday, I think they had enough of the small carts to still give everybody the smaller carts that wanted them, and still have a couple left over for service. But from that point on, if anybody else, if there's a need to have smaller carts, then Casella's gonna come back to us to work out something on the price, because it's gonna be a special order type of thing, so.
Roger, what are we supposed to do with the old carts?
The old carts, if you want them to disappear, put them out on your day with a note on them saying for recycling. And they will take the old containers for recycling.
Put out on your trash pickup with a note that says
Just put it-
recycling on it, recycle.
'Cause I'll tell you what, those bins are nice. The new ones.
They do look nice. I mean, they're bound to be better than,
Well,
But
the guy told me they
just
put
great.
32,000 up.
It was like just shy of 6,000, I think, total.
Fine crap.
Hey, we only have a little over 7,000 residents in the
Love
borough.
it.
Why didn't mayor?
No filter, I love it.
I'm sure it felt like 32
Not
after
anymore.
they delivered them all.
Those poor guys.
Hopefully in a couple more weeks. There hasn't been hardly any calls on, collection issues. I think that's gonna be much improved because they're gonna do the containers and that's it, so.
I got a call from a lady. Said what she throws away is in a container, but it's the caps off the bottle. But they do that.
Recycling.
Yeah, recycling.
For recycling, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
recycling, you have to
Recycling, yes.
uncap your stuff.
Oh, you still gotta do it?
Yeah, yeah. Yep, nothing's changed. The one question that keeps coming up is about cardboard. Corrugated cardboard has to be put in the recycling. It can't be left outside. Like, you can't have a cardboard box full of broken down cardboard.
I ain't tear
Just-
hers up and gives me help.
Does that
putting
go in
it
the
back in.
bin?
Everything goes in the bin.
Oh, okay.
That would be
Everything.
difficult with some larger.
Yeah, well, you have to cut it down.
Nice.
I got a large one.
That's good to know.
Okay.
Wanted
Man, I
to
must
try
be
to
doing
spread that
recycling
word a
all
while.
wrong.
And do not follow the instructions for recycling, that's on
Yeah,
the
that's-
recycling can. Follow the borough's instructions. These cans are generic for collection, but they do not fit with our recycling.
There might be opportunities to increase the recycling again in the future with the new recycling place
be
that
nice.
Casella takes to. But for now, we just have to stand pat and see how it goes, so. But I think that's it for recycling and trash. It's been pretty maddening.
Question about that.
Yeah.
So I've noticed there's still some residents, I don't know if, I find it hard to believe they haven't noticed the trash toters on their front sidewalks.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I have
just-
seen some sitting around too, yeah.
yeah, I've seen that too, like by their car and
Yeah.
like.
Main
the
Street has
street.
several here and there, and how do you not know you
Could they
didn't
be
get toter?
away?
Or vacant.
Or vacant, yeah.
Well, that could be, I didn't think of them being vacant.
Nobody's renting them right now.
I didn't think of that. That could be.
Sewer system, pump station 3, Ritu's working on surveying the area we need to swap land with the General Mills folks, and they're also beginning to work on the design of the pump station, so that's in play. We're having, as we mentioned previously, lots of problems with that, with just the condition and the controls, and we've also had quite a bit of trouble the last week or so with pump station 2. One of the pumps overheated really bad, and that caused the problem. So we lost a day of leaf collection because they were at the pump station 2 the whole day, so.
Which pump station is on to be replaced?
Pump station 3 is the one,
Ritu's working on
they're working on that one. That's North Locust Street. If you head west on Broad Street all the way, you can see it sitting
Yeah.
out in the field.
By the field, yeah.
That's pump station 3.
So pump station 2 doesn't have any replacement in sight?
No, that's fairly new.
That's
That was
what
pump station 1 and 2 were redone back in 2010. No new sinkholes to report. Public Works hasn't had a chance to address the ones in Southeast Park yet, so that's still on the new list, but there hasn't been anything else, thank goodness. Stormwater management, good news is the basin improvement project is 100% complete. We got the final bills on it. The only thing remaining is Ritu has to get an as-built drawing to the railroad for their files. But other than that, so we're done with the ARPA funds, everything's done, so that's.
We could use a little more ARPA funds, but
So that's all taken care of. So the only thing we have left for Phase A is to connect Shadowstone's Basin across Railroad Street to Chestnut and Spruce Street area. We have to extend that. That's the only missing link we have. And then from there, we can, with our own forces, we can add to that system as the budget will allow. So we're almost there.
14, 15.
Good things take time.
Street and alley maintenance, really not much to report there. I know the guys have been working on some potholes when time allows. Traffic signals haven't had any issues to report there. So that's pretty much it for Public Works.
Anybody have anything else under Public Works?
Nothing from the solicitor, except for what you saw on the agenda this evening. You should have the zoning and code enforcement report. We're trying to
Thank you for
improve that report so that you have a better idea, more like the police report that breaks down the different violations.
That would help.
We're trying to figure out how to do that.
Okay. Thank him for this.
There's no zoning hearings scheduled. It's been pretty quiet on the zoning front. Borough manager's report, big topic there is the off-street stormwater for Melrose development. Reached out to North Londonderry Township to see if we could have another group meeting, private meeting with the property owners, us, and the township, and they once again declined. They basically said their decision's final. No amount of meetings is gonna change their mind, so that's that. So basically, we're at the point where it's kinda gotta make a decision on what you wanna do. So I tried to outline the three options here that we have kinda left remaining. Option A is kind of what I call the walk-away scenario, where we would troubleshoot the existing drain tile pipe that's on the north side of the road, make repairs that are necessary, and then you just have the developer pay the $55,000 or $56,000 they owe us for the park and rec fee money, and we could use that money towards park and rec improvements within 3 years of receiving it. The second option is for actually abandoning that cross pipe in Ridge like we discussed, and then tearing out everything that's on the north side of the East Ridge Road, and then replacing it with what Mike Nouse designed as an infiltration trench, and it would discharge, where it discharges now. The problem with that is it has a $95,000 price tag, so we would still be on the hook for about a little over $39,000, which isn't in the budget right now, so that's another consideration. And then really the only other option is if the property owners reconsidered granting the stormwater easements necessary, they could extend that pipe south and then west to North Lincoln Street, totally within the cost of what the developer owes us for the park and rec fee. So that's really the three options we have left. And I kind of figured that B is probably off the table, given our budget situation, which
I would like it noted in our minutes that North Londonderry Township has declined all our invitations, and they are not cooperating. I want it noted in the minutes,
okay.
please.
And you don't have to make a decision on this tonight, I'm just
Well,
laying it
and
out there.
I don't know
for-
that there's much of a decision.
How open to reconsidering were the property owners?
I don't know, I mean, it's, we haven't
I
really.
mean, we haven't, okay,
really-
okay.
yeah.
We didn't even approach that subject yet
No.
with them, okay.
Option 3 may not be an option.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
right.
And even option one's gonna cost us money.
Well, just for whatever
Right.
pipe needs to be
Right.
fixed. I mean, we can do that with our own forces, so. I think we can work that in our, with what we have in our
Be
normal
interested.
budget.
Can you get us an idea of what that would,
Well, we're not, yeah, until we know really what's wrong with
Okay.
it, and I don't foresee us having any
Okay.
time, anytime
Okay,
soon
that's
to
okay.
look at it, but we will, I mean, as soon as we, I know Clint's kind of chomping at the bit to take a look at it, so I'll say something to him, see if he can work it in the schedule. It might be a wintertime project if it's not snowing. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
Does anybody have anything else under this portion?
Thanks a lot, North Londonderry.
Okay, so moving on to communications, everybody has the letter in their packet from Susan Verhoek. Could you just contact her and let her know she had the option to get a smaller container, and if she might have another option to get one? I don't know what you were saying earlier. Could you just,
Would we be able to like help her just for this situation, or would they charge us, or?
Be able to.
I don't know, she had a couple concerns there.
as far as the larger can, she
Yeah,
might possibly be able to still get a smaller can, maybe? So could you at least let her know that?
yeah.
The only other thing I thought of was she is able to put like kitchen-sized garbage or kitchen-sized trash bags in here, right?
Yeah, in the
Right, so she
container,
doesn't have to do the large garbage bags.
no, and unfortunately, the recycling bin's the same size for everybody.
yeah.
They don't have a smaller one.
You can pretty much hide it by.
They did have smaller
can
ones.
hide it by-
If you
Recycling bins
requested a
as well?
smaller trash, you got a smaller.
I didn't,
Okay.
I didn't realize
Okay.
that, sorry.
So could you let her know that okay. Hopefully she can still get them. Because that might work for her. All right. Other business. Chief, got anything? Mayor? Good?
Good.
Okay.
Good.
One ask. Can we get a chart, an Excel spreadsheet, that shows us the percent increase of taxes by dollars and mills by every $50,000? So 0, 50, 100, 150, up to the 800,000 that we're at? So that we can see what we're being able to, by cutting this money, what we're saving the taxpayers.
Okay, so you wanna know, like millage wise,
Yes.
Correct, but that would then
By
equate to some kind
50,000
of dollars by $50,000 increments. So if we get to 450,000, we know what we were able to save the taxpayers.
Please.
That's-
I like that
It's
idea.
just a small,
yeah.
Well, it is easier.
I could do it
than going
normally, but
back.
right now, I can't.
Yeah, I can.
It is easier than
I used to be able to figure it
being able
out.
to use this formula.
But it'd be something nice for the whole council to be able to.
Great.
Thank you. Not to add something extra to your plate, but that would be helpful for most of us. Nancy, anything?
I do. I had a text message from Brana Hauser regarding the parade, and she was wondering if any of the council members wanted to walk in the parade. The community parade, the holiday, I guess I still call it the holiday parade, this Saturday.
That's this Saturday?
This Saturday.
Wait, I'm sorry, what is it?
The holiday parade.
Holiday parade.
Oh, jeez, that's right.
That means none of us are in it.
I mean, I had a torn ACL, like, I
yeah,
shouldn't be
you can't-
walking.
can't be
I just had an
You could-
MRI today.
You could sit in the cart and
Yeah, I'm not doing, no,
Polio.
no. Yeah, I would love to, but
Get a
no.
scooter.
What?
Get a scooter.
Oh, geez, no, I'd be going all over the place then, no.
And just for council's knowledge, we don't know who or how many will be in the parade. Saturday is Chris's funeral,
That's where I'll be.
so we're getting,
I'll be there.
gonna get as many as we can, but
No, I understand.
What time is the parade?
I think it
I think
starts
we
at
have to- I think
11.
Seven
It starts at
o'clock.
11, but you have to be there at 10 or whatever to set up.
Yeah, no, there's no way I can walk that.
So that's,
7 o'clock.
Is anyone?
I was planning on going to the funeral, but
Mayor's gonna be in.
I'll,
you gonna be
I'll
in?
email
Yeah, I only
her
got
tomorrow.
one more parade, buddy.
okay, I will let her know that the mayor is coming.
I got Horsey open house that day, so.
Hey, I've been on council since '60s.
Jesus was in short pants? Jesus was in short pants?
Anything else?
Hard to believe.
You guys going? Either of you?
I can't believe
Sounds like I would be the only one.
when it's been so nice out.
He's planning on going?
Beautiful.
He's gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm going.
That's why I was like, great, it's
I
so
have,
nice
we
out.
have our War Horse open house that day.
Did you wanna walk in?
Anyway, council members were at the front of the parade,
Do this afterwards.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
tweet
yeah.
this out afterwards.
front of the parade. Mr. Mayor, then it equal to the council,
Oh, okay.
All right,
and then it comes to Dan.
any other business? Anything else? Roger, Brenda? Okay. All right, public comment period number 2. Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it would be.
I just had to ask, I wasn't sure. Hold that thought. Make it a quarter
Hello,
10.
everybody.
I don't think that's
To
on.
the mayor, who has been a prior U.S. Air Force person. Yesterday was Veterans Holiday. I want to thank you very much for that. And on top of that, has been the mayor of this town for 10 years. For all the work that you dedicated to this town. That is a very, very, very knowledgeable thing. I also want to thank you for talking to me. Know that I would definitely become mayor. Approval, I would certainly be interested. You know, the budget is always an issue that we have every year. The president had spoke about the managers that we have in this town that put together an incredibly accurate budget. So it's very difficult for you to take a look at it and sit there and try to take things off. And it's difficult sometimes for budgets to say, oh my God, we need to get something out that might make you feel better or whatever. But there are situations in this case where the minorities, where you have absolutely, you can take some stuff off. But what's gonna happen to you is it's gonna be kicked down to the next year. And we've found out in the past with these budgets that you will pay double, triple. It happened before from previous council that was here that used to actually say no to increasing any costs. And now we're paying back and doubling the money up. So it's difficult, I get it. But at the same time, we could have your manager over there and your assistant manager say, oh, we'll put together a budget next year. You guys can sit there and I'll put all kind of extra stuff in it and you can take it away. But when you don't get that opportunity because it's accurate, you have to do what's right for the community. And I can tell you that the community wants to have this, you want to have enough folks to do the work that needs to be done around the community. The ideas that were brought forward really can help the community. You you can kick it down the road, but it's gonna come back and haunt you down the road. So you might say $10 or $15 a month to increase to this cost. I'm gonna tell you that if we want to, we can keep this town good, or we can make it not so good. So my recommendation would be to pass this budget, folks. It sounds like $15 a month is astronomical, but in reality, it's what it costs to run a town. And we can run it good, or we can run it bad. So I would hope that this council, that there is enough on you to make sure that we get this passed, because I know what's in there is the absolute minimum to make this place work well. So please, think about this town, and taking those cuts are only gonna hurt you down the road. So please, I recommend that you approve this budget, because it's not one of those ones that is super extra. It is just the minimum.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna get into it, because then it'll go back and forth. I just don't agree.
I don't want to argue with you again, Anthony.
I don't wanna argue, I just don't agree with that. The minute it comes to the truck process, that's
Don Barry, 711 North Grand Street. I'd like to remind council that the cuts that you're talking about within the maintenance department and the equipment may be the money that you need to spend to allow them to do the projects that they save this community hundreds of thousands of dollars doing on their own, including maybe asphalt work. Something came to my head after that when we started talking about Melrose. How much property actually involves North Londonderry Township? I don't even know that was me. What part of this are they actually involved in? Other than, is it the farmland? It's not the stream.
No, one of the property owners, well, a couple of the property owners are in North Londonderry.
understand that, but-
We have our easement area for the existing pipe that's up there is in North Londonderry Township. But we were trying to get them to agree to allow us to extend that pipe and connect it in the township. So that the water, so that the water's not just running,
Borough anyway.
yeah, exactly.
That's the part that's confusing. If you get any complaints about the garbage cans and stuff, that company was atrocious. It wasn't Castell. I mean, they were throwing cans on the road in front of my house, beating the crap out of them, singing and playing music, like you'd have thought we were in the Berg.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a concert going on. Seriously, I came outside, it was
Yeah, I
intense.
saw him on Cherry Street.
He was at
right
work
in
too, but he
front
was
of
at
me.
home.
No,
He was working at
I
home.
was home, I
He was
walked
out.
out, my one neighbor walks in, goes, whoa, what's going on? And I'm like, this is hilarious.
But they were like that at our house
I'm
too.
sorry, I missed it.
No, it was bad. I see everything. I'm just open up my window.
The joy of working at home.
I sat there and listened to that, which all came back on the most part. You've got a brand new supervisor. Roger keeps telling us how great he is, he's found these things to do, to try to make this better, that better, and slapping them in the face. You're not giving them anything to help them do it even better if you cut everything. Just by going on. He's turned the teams around, taken on the projects, they're doing well. I would hate to see us cut them off at the knee. Grow a team like that is very difficult in this day and age. Actually want to work. Second thing, Roger, on the
No, well, option C was about, I think their estimate from DH Funk was, right around 41,000. That was the cheapest option. The original option was the cheapest route.
Appreciate the hard work that everybody does. I think
I just want to say that I appreciate everyone's comment, but when it comes to this, we never want to set up people for failure. Like, we always want to set them up for success. But at the same point, like, we appreciate everyone here who comes in attendance, but there's so many more people out there, and we have to think about them. Like, I have neighbors who can't afford groceries. I realize that, and I appreciate everyone who comes in here and tells us how you feel, but we also have to realize there's other people here in the borough too, and we have to think about what's best for everybody, not just for the amount of people who come here and say, do the budget. We have to think about everyone as a whole. That's all, yeah.
You're saying everybody, and that's what we're saying, you're talking a small percentage, but I tell you what, I talk to a lot of people in this town, and a lot of people are saying that they want this town not to fall apart, and they're willing to pay this extra money. You're
Really?
working on a small number of people that you say aren't coming to
No,
this.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people too, and a lot of people, they don't want this town to fall apart. I mean, I've been here since I've been 5 years old, but at the same point, the median income is $55,000. We have the second highest poverty rate in Lebanon County. And so we have to think about what's best for everybody. It's tough. This is not easy decisions. I mean, you saw us tonight go at it.
I'm not gonna get down into it with you, you guys
Yeah.
can discuss it later, but I'm gonna tell you what, there is more people that don't want this town to fall apart, and it's gonna happen if you guys don't take care of it. That's the way.
I also worry about the elderly, and I'm not talking your age, I'm talking the ones that are older than you, that are on extreme, see, I'm saying you guys are young. I'm talking about the guys that are,
The mayor.
elderly who are on extreme fixed incomes, who are shut-ins, who can't come to these meetings, who no longer drive, who don't get around very well, who are stuck at home. They might be able to listen, but they can't give us their opinions. They can't come to the meetings and tell us how they feel. And they can't deal with a $24, $25 a month tax increase.
You can also go to so many other opportunities that the counties offer. They've got different kind of housing that, for the folks that are having
Right.
difficulties.
I know.
I get all
know,
this.
but I'm just saying,
Just a small percentage of the township.
It's not a small percentage. The majority of the percentage is elderly.
Seek additional assistance, but if you let the 85 or 87% of this community fall apart because if you think that way and the rest of the town falls apart, then you're
But
gonna
I
have
don't
more
think that
than
way
13%.
either.
You're gonna have a ton.
I try to find a nice middle road. Because I don't want the town falling apart, but I don't want to tax everybody to death either.
That he has done a great job of putting only the minimum that we have to do to run this town. So it's not that you're going out and saying, hey, we're gonna do everything to this town that is just fun and this and that. It's just the minimum to
Right.
maintain it.
But then when I see that it's still a $25, 24 something a month increase, that bothers me.
Yeah, and it's our responsibility to
I'm
do
not
something.
okay with that.
Responsibility of, that we have to do for
can't.
this town, because yes, it's difficult, I'm not saying it isn't difficult.
Right.
But if
I know,
take
you were
care
up
of
here,
it,
you know
like
what
I
it's
said
like.
before, The place falls apart because
I
you
know.
don't maintain it.
We can't say yes to everything. We have to ask questions and we have to talk and we're
Tom,
gonna
you've
have our
been
little
up here, you
batters.
know how difficult budget season is.
I do know,
Yeah,
very much so, but
I
I
know.
also know what we get to work
I know,
with.
I know, I know.
you can't pass this.
But if you don't wanna say, I'm gonna take stuff away from it. Other folks have said, we're gonna have a town that's not gonna have the people.
We won't have people here. No, we won't have people here. Where do you think all the families live? No, in North Londonderry or South Londonderry. I'm telling you. I have a kid, trust me, I know. I'm telling you.
Because they say.
Why?
Because they think it's well run out there, and not as well run here.
No.
Because they know that the cost of
They can't afford a house in those towns.
This is no debate.
$9,000
Okay,
a month.
back to public comment. Back to public comment.
$9,000 a year.
Bye, Jan. Yes, come on up. Mr. Kelly,
Please.
come on up.
Please.
It's good to see you again.
I would tend to agree with Anthony on this. I think, I wasn't even gonna talk about this, but it's getting a little heated.
Yep. Right. No.
All I would say is, look, this with the budget, I don't wanna pay more tax, nobody wants to pay more tax. Irritated about the police from last year, now. I would do that. This is what I would say. Last year, I think what we went through last year with the police, I said it was the right idea at the wrong time. That could not be more true now. And say, I told you so, but I told you so. Hours to sit with Chief Ware and talk to him about this. We didn't get enough departments on to make it a cost savings. I spent hours with him and didn't even realize how front-loaded and the issues it would cause the budget that you spoke about. Hours talking to him about it, and I raised concerns last year. So if I spent hours on an issue trying to figure it out and I didn't get it, the only thing I would ask is, I think Roger, I think it's right, I think he does try to do his best with the budget, but you need to go back, you need to revisit. Even if nothing gets cut, if you bring up topics and you talk about the ones that are tough, that's still a better story. I think he does a good job. I think it was the right idea, I just think we don't have, I don't think we had enough people up by it right now. The only other thing I would say is, when you're talking about tough things, I've been on the top, led from the top. Doesn't matter if it's an attorney, doesn't matter if it's someone in the audience, it doesn't matter if it's someone on the board, it doesn't matter if it's myself. We gotta have that. If you guys want to get the budget, you want to make the cuts you want to make, you're gonna have to talk about tough things without disrespecting one another. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
We recess.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we recess until,
Hold on.
I have the motion for you. Motion to continue the meeting until Monday, November the 18th at 6 PM.
make motion.
Is that the one you're making?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hold on, I didn't make my announcement yet. I gotta,
Oh, she has
don't I
to give her
have to
next-
do that announcement?
No, because we're continuing.
Yeah, at the
Okay.
end.
Okay, before we do that, I would like to publicly apologize to Anthony because I did lose my cool with him and I am sorry.
You don't need to apologize.
Yes, I do need to apologize.
I'm sorry.
Because
I'm sorry too. We're just
I was
passionate people.
off.
I'm just glad it
Listen.
wasn't me tonight.
Listen, we're passionate people.
Yes,
and
we
and
are.
I have thick skin, so really nothing bothers me. But
Well,
and I'm sorry
I
too.
lost my cool and I shouldn't have.
No, and I'm sorry
because
too.
I'm
It's just
sitting here.
budget season. When it comes to
It's-
when this is not my money, it's like very
get
different.
it.
But no, I mean we're all doing the right thing. We all have the right mindset, and we got to remember that. And we just got to be chill about it. And if we need to make more time to talk about it, then we do. Simple as that.
So you have a motion on the table to continue the meeting?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Opposed? See you Monday night.